Welcome back to another episode of Good Earners Reviewing the Sopranos. And here on Good Earners, we like to talk about family, finessing, finances, and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. I'm not alone. I got my two capos here, Spike Lou, Big Rich Town. How y'all fellas doing?
Doing all right, brother. How you feeling?
I'm good. Spike Lou.
What do you hear? What do you say?
Nothing, man. Look, by the time y'all hearing this, we got 10 episodes left of The Sopranos. 10.
10 episodes left.
After this episode.
Yes. Listen.
It's now been a long road.
Now, Rich, what did you ask real quick? I thought the listeners let them in on this a little bit. You said something about that doesn't feel different, or what was you saying?
Yeah. So this week, I didn't know the exact number, but I knew when I was watching this episode and prepping, I'm like, all right, we have the season 6A finale next week, and then we're into season 6B, and it's just getting towards the end. And obviously the opener for season 6B is Soprano Home Movies, and I think even before I was on this podcast, which would have been early season 2, season 1, both of you were talking about how you were looking forward to that episode, and we talked about this a little bit before. We crossed a lot of the check marks of episodes we've been looking forward to and moments we've been looking forward to, and it doesn't seem real. I know we've been doing this for quite some time, but to be in the last stretch, like literally the last 10 episodes, like it's about to be in single digits. Do you look at it differently? Do you approach these 10 any different? Like it's no different than a sports player, NBA player saying, hey, they on their retirement tour. Kobe on his retirement tour, he knows like this is the last time I'm going to be suiting up in this city. This is the last time I'm going to be, this crowd is going to see me. Like, he came out and dropped 60 his last game. Do you look at it like, all right, not necessarily need to press and do anything different, but kind of
I know what you mean though. Yeah.
Savor the moment a little bit more. Like when Tony was talking to AJ about the drinking, like, hold on, man, slow down. Savor it, like enjoy
it.
Yeah. Do you has that crossed either one of your minds? I know Spike it hasn't, but what about you?
It's just another podcast with this guy.
No, I had something for that.
Go ahead, man.
As you were saying, it made me think. There's really good analogy as Rich does, is what he's great at, like putting it into terms like with Kobe and Six's game. Not so much as it dwindling down, but even more so the feedback that we've gotten from the teacher, shout out to her, or from the people when you're reading that feedback every week. It makes me want, especially for like how important the last B is, it has made me think of like we gotta bring it. Like this nigga, lace up your sneakers. I'm putting up 30 tonight. Like all of these last episodes, to Rich's point, like we want to do like, and the chemistry is, it wasn't ever bad, but it just continued to get better and better, and it's gotten its best. I feel like since we've incorporated the listener stuff, since we've just been in a different bag with knowing that we don't have that much to go. So yeah, I thought about it and thought, we got to bring it for the next 11 episodes, even more so than we thought about it before, because you don't get to do this again.
No.
Like, I think that's the hesitation with doing The Wire for me and Rich. Because like we only get one shot at it, boss. Like we're gonna, like as you said, Mo, in the voice note this week, the feed will continue to go, and we can do variations of character breakdowns and favorite episodes and all of that shit. Like all of that can happen to keep the feed going. But we only getting one shot at these last episodes, and it's a show that we feel like is the greatest show, one of the greatest shows ever. So yeah, I 100% think that you spot on, Rich.
I have thoughts as well. Mo, I don't know if you want me to say anything.
Yeah,
or
go
you
ahead.
want to go ahead. So for me, it's a legacy builder. It's a legacy builder. Just to piggyback off what Spike just said, we're not going to do this again. I know we've joked about, this is a show you can look at 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and redo it because you have different perspectives. I doubt that happens in all actuality, but it's a legacy builder, and mainly because of what.
He freeze?
I think he froze. He'll pop back.
Hell of a dramatic.
Man, I was like, yeah, that's on the edge.
That was great.
Yo, the YouTube
The rich
watchers gonna
being
be like,
great
wait,
unintentionally, right? They know,
that's some Sopranos cut to black right there.
that's the last episode type shit right there, man.
Don't worry, y'all.
That's
There'll be
funny.
something great for the last. Like there'll be something similar to that.
I
But
had an idea too.
okay, yeah,
I
definitely
don't
run
want
that
to blow
back.
it though.
Yeah, run
okay.
it. Yeah, we got to run that because I've been thinking about how many ways to go about it. Rick should get back in here, I'm sure, in a minute. But for me, you know what? To be honest, I haven't thought about it in the sense that like we're almost done. I feel like in true Sopranos fashion, this feels like a revolving door, like to me. So it's like it's never really over. I don't know. And I don't mean that in some cliche way. It's so embedded. It's like when we're not doing this, I'm going to watch it probably a year from now. You know what I mean? Like even when we get into like the nooks and crannies of Back of the Bing episodes that we create, I don't know. It's just like a revolving door. You know, this version of it, the episode breakdown, of course, but I don't know. It just feel like it's a everlasting thing. We've reviewed. This is something to add under all of our belts. We reviewed a series. You know what I mean? Like that. You know, you review movies, review an episode, review a TV season, review a album. But this is reviewing a series.
Yeah,
and I think
scene for scene too.
Scene for scene, like every. Of course, there's stuff that's missed. It's not without its flaws, but that's huge.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, there's stuff that's missed, but to the very minimalist of amounts. Like you listen to other TV show podcasts, they ain't going scene for scene.
No,
like that's one thing. Like you always talk about, Mo, the different Sopranos podcasts. I haven't listened to a lot of them, but I'm not sure many of them go scene for scene.
Mm-hmm.
My bad, y'all. Wi-Fi was bugging.
All good.
I mentioned a legacy builder, and what I mean by that, and I think both of you have already touched on it, but it's funny. This episode that we're about to discuss today, there's a moment where Carmela just has that realization, like, it's funny how when you go somewhere new, the people are all make-believe until you get there. And even after you leave this earth, like life still keeps going on, right? It's going to keep going just the same way Paris is going to be Paris. And when I say legacy builder, I'm talking about how there are going to be people 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, that this podcast is going to live like The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to find it and they're going to listen to it. And even 5 years from now, there could be people commenting on the work that we've done today. And just not knowing that that's even existing, or people wanting to have conversations with us when it's not an active feed. So just the idea of, I think back in season 2 or season 3, Mo, you let us know that we were ranked like the second best Sopranos podcast.
Yeah.
I forget that ranking system and how they had it, but we were second best. And obviously we all scoffed because who's better than us? But I want to make sure, and I think we've been doing a great job of it, but I really want to make sure that, shout out to Remember the Titans, man. Like when he told that nigga to run it up, leave no doubt. I want to leave no doubt that this is the best Sopranos podcast that ever exists. Like straight up. And that's what I'm.
That's that talk right there.
You ain't got to do nothing special. You ain't got to do nothing special. We ain't got to do nothing crazy. But literally, we've been talking about 6B and how crazy it is and how some of the best television you'll ever watch. And I want to be able to 10 years from now still say, nah, we put out the best commentary about one of the best shows to ever exist. And I mean, when I say think about it, like take a second. Out of anybody who's ever walked this earth since 2007 and had a chance to discuss Sopranos and love this show, like literally we did it with the best of them. And I just think that's something real cool to sit down and like just acknowledge. Spike and myself struggle with that. We talk about it on Another Week in the Books. Like sometimes you're just on the go and you don't have a chance to really sit down and like, you know what? We did that.
That's a bar.
And I want to make sure that we take some time and really appreciate that. Obviously, we'll be meeting up in the next couple of months, January, February or so. And it's just a good time, man. It's just a good time. And I'm just, we're not at the end yet, but I couldn't be honored. I couldn't be prouder or more honored to have shared this space with y'all. Obviously, we're going to continue recording together on other things, but this is something that's special. It's just, you never would have thought.
Yeah.
And so as many times as when it comes to the day to record, and I know it's going to be 2.5 hours, and I know, I'm just,
Yeah.
Like even now, right? I've been on a run all day,
Right.
rushing to get home. I ain't really ate yet. You know, I made me a quick smoothie so I can get through this episode.
Man.
All of that is worth it when you see the end product. And when you get those emails like from from the teacher, I can't
Mrs.
remember her
Gwinnett.
name right now, Mrs. Gwinnett, from
the
Chris
Monicas,
Malone.
the Ashleys.
Yeah, Kiori, man. Shout out to Kiori, man. I listened to some of Kiori's music this past week. You follow me on IG, man. I listen to some of his music, man, and I'm rocking with it.
Shout out to
I'm
Key.
rocking with it.
Shout out to Kiori,
man. He had 2 songs directly on his YouTube, and I listened to him, man. I'm like, okay, then.
Hey.
Like, so it's just cool to like know people and know that people really rock with us, because we just grab microphones and we just talk like about stuff that we care about. So to connect with people that we've never met, I don't know, man. It's an indescribable feeling, and I'm just thankful that we've had such an impact on y'all. So we'll get more sentimental down the line, but
we definitely will.
So I'm saying we can't give all the sauce away today.
I know,
I just want to make sure that we all appreciate what we've done and where we're headed, because these, I say from this episode on, really, this episode starts to really pick up.
Yeah, it's starting. It's setting.
I think that's what I was going. That was one of my points for this episode.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Just to cap on it, no more salsa here, but like Spike said, but anyway, let's get into the emails. Real briefly here. So from our last episode, season 6, episode 10, Mo and Joe, Black Johnny hits it up on YouTube. He said Bobby was born into the life but isn't built like Tony is. His father was a respectable hitter, so he probably just rolled his coat. Janice is annoying, but she knows Tony. Let me extend this out a little bit. But she knows Tony won't do anything unless she lights the fire beneath him. Tony doesn't enjoy doing things for people. He just feels he has to. If not, he would feel like a real Frankenstein. And Janice, happy cry in the basement, would have had me rolling my eyes just like Tony. And that's what he got.
He's happy.
Yeah,
now,
right.
I think that's a good point in what he said, in the sense, like when Melfi asked the question, when Tony was like, she caught me doing something when she was supposed to be watching me and videotape me or whatever it may be in the session.
Mm-hmm.
To his comment there, a lot of the stuff that Tony does is fueled by, like, when Janice wanted him to do something, she knows she got to do like they were when they were kids and damn near manipulate him. Like, I got you on camera, do these different things. Like, it can't just be a straight ass, because she know Tony don't move that way. So I think that's a really good comment, him pointing it out.
Yeah. Good stuff, Black Johnny. Our next one is an actual email from subject line thoughts on upcoming episode. So it's from .comphenomenon. Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. And this isn't just Good Earners. This is all the platforms I'm a part of. And some of y'all usernames be wild.
Yeah, they are. For sure.
Respectfully.
Yeah, respect. All
I'm sure
respect.
they mean something. Yeah, I'm sure they mean something, but I'd be like, man, what was going on?
Yeah.
when you picked it.
How'd you even come up with that?
Yeah, how you come up with this?
When they came up with it, was flames in their head, for sure. He says, hey guys, I wanted to throw out something to support your thoughts on the overall of season 6. At the end of stage 5, the audio being okay. So if you haven't seen The Sopranos before, you want to probably skip up 30 seconds or so, because I don't know if this is going to be a spoiler for those.
Spoil some shit?
I don't think it's a spoiler, but it may be something that somebody wanted to figure out for themselves. So I don't think it's a spoiler like that, but just in case, y'all fast forward up if you haven't seen it before. But he says at the end of stage 5, which I believe is coming up here soon.
It's next, I think, it's in season 6 week.
Okay. It says the audio being played into the final clips, then credits, is called Evidently Chicken Town by John Cooper Clarke. The lyrics are a short trip through a fictional town that has gone bonkers, putting a cap to the peaking of this dynamic playing out in season 6. That's, of course, my take. I hope that makes sense. Take care. Great podcast, gentlemen. RMM.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
appreciate that.
We can
That's
talk
something,
about it when we get there.
yeah, I think that might be come back with that. Maybe elaborate a little bit more too. I'm not as familiar, and again, we spoke about it in our season 1. We told y'all what type of podcast this is. So when you bring that thing right there, that type of info, give us a little bit more because I like that. I would be interested to be educated. So shout out to you, man. Hit us back when we get to stage 5. A couple of comments from our season 6, episode 10, Mo and Joe. Now again, here we go. The real Joe Gandascoli. All right. So listen. Now we're supposed to have Joe on next week for the by the time y'all hearing this, whatever. We're supposed to have him on the next episode. Y'all see, obviously, y'all know this episode. Y'all know why. Now we're gonna see what happens. All right, but I'm gonna read these clips. If it doesn't, the jokes are flying. So know that. All right, so it says the real Joe Gandascoli. He left a YouTube comment. He says, "Wait a minute, you did invite me on the show. That's great. First of all, if you saw the Many Saints of Newark, you will know that recently David Chase has become demented. So naturally, he has greenlit my backdoor pilot called Sopranos 2, The Rise of Vito Jr. In the year 2045, Vito Jr. has grown up, parentheses, played by Joe Gandascoli." This email gets really mad. Like, this YouTube comment is crazy.
It's one of those you're just gonna stop reading.
Yeah, I'm going because
like,
he put it this way.
You just
Yeah.
wait. Have you read it? Yeah,
I've read it before, but I've
But
debated.
now you're deciding you don't want to.
I'm deciding I'm not going to. But it's on YouTube. If y'all want to see the comment, just put it this way. You know the white boy gay humor.
Yeah.
You did this, the Andrew Schultz humor, that type, like not that type, but you get what I'm going at, you know.
Yeah, I see
it's like if Joe Gandascoli,
distasteful. It's distasteful.
Yeah, Joe Gandascoli, if it's you or whoever's playing, whatever, Joe Nelson, whoever it is, the jokes are cool, but y'all gotta understand we're black. We only can go so far on like the threshold of jokes is a little. It's a little too far on that side, bro. Like, it's the Game of Thrones, me sitting on the toilet. It's been too far. You're taking the comedy too far. Seriously, stop. Please stop. I'm serious. Like, stop. It's getting disgusting. Like, if y'all look at the YouTube comment, y'all know what I mean. I'm not gonna read it, but you're taking it too far. Please stop, because it's getting weird, bro. That's not funny at this point. All right, our next one.
I don't know what it said, but I'm just gonna take
trust me
for it.
Yeah, you just read it quietly.
I believe you.
Okay.
I believe you.
All right. Our next one is from our last episode. Tapset from YouTube. He says Sal Vitro was not thankful at all. Paulie shook him down. He's a square dude. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Agreed.
Yes.
And lastly, we haven't heard from her in a while. Monica Goldberg. Subject line, Johnny Cakes slander. She says, "Hi, as always, enjoying the pod. However, I was shocked to hear Mo's hot take on Jimbo. Not only is he not a serial killer, I feel like his primary value in the series is to be the perfect boyfriend, similar to aiding in Sex in the City." She sent a link to show that even someone perfect could not hold Vito. He missed the life that much. I think Vito was the devil in the White City. Keep up the good work. Best, Monica.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah, based on that book that he was reading.
Based on the book and him being like that was the perfect life for Vito, essentially.
Yeah.
He found somebody that was accepting.
It's probably that, but I think it could be an interesting thing. Something about Jim ain't right either, though. Like I may be on my own island, but something about that dude, like how he was reacting when Vito came out there, it was so weird to me. I was like, something ain't right about this dude either. Like, but anyway, but you're probably right, Monica. Thank you. It's good. It's definitely the mustache, bro.
It's the mustache.
Yeah.
Mustache has a lot to do with it. Yes.
Yeah.
That don't even fit where you live. That don't even feel like New Hampshire.
Yeah, I don't.
You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't.
They don't fit where you live.
Yeah, it don't. Like,
yeah, for real. I'm telling you.
Right,
I got a hot take. You said something about Andrew Schultz earlier. That's the reason people turning on him, like with the shit that he said.
Because he grew that stash.
That mustache crazy.
A mustache is crazy, bro. Now people
Yeah,
look at you like the
yeah.
mustache makes a lot of
It
difference,
makes a
bro.
whole lot of difference. Yeah, man, listen,
Yeah.
that's a place. There's a lot of things I could say right now. I'm not going to say.
Man,
But
hey, listen, we can do a whole
a
nother
whole
episode
nother
about how
like
your mustache make
back
you
of the
look, bro.
bean.
Man, listen.
Oh man, but that is our emails. Thank y'all truly. If y'all want to hit us up, goodearnerpod@gmail.com, or y'all can leave a comment like most people on YouTube, or DM us on Instagram, goodearnerpod_Sopranos. Spike Lou, what we
Mo
reviewing today?
Rich, as we said, man, we're getting close to the end of this thing of ours. This is episode 6, excuse me, season 6, episode 11, titled Cold Stones. Phil is in the power position and he's starting to affect Tony in his decision making. Carmela, she needs a break, so her and Ro gonna pack up and they're gonna go to Paris. Vito's back in town. He makes a proposition that Tony is considering. Phil suspects Vito is back and he wants Tony to do something about it. And Tony, he may hate his son. Phil takes action and Tony ponders a response. This is season 6, episode 11, entitled Cold Stones.
Hey, shout out to Steve Austin. All right, so we go to the opening scene, and Carmela and Tony are pretty much like chewing AJ out for getting fired at Blockbuster. And then AJ just spewing out a bunch of nothings. Like, I'm gonna do my best to not do an AJ rant today. I'm just gonna do my best because it triggers me every time. He has that ability.
I said the same thing this episode. Like, you know what? I ain't even going there.
Yeah. Yep. I would like y'all. Never mind. I was gonna tell somebody anybody's an AJ apologist, email us. Put it that way. Explain something to me, please. Any AJ apologists, come through.
You know what? I was talking about the Sopranos. I sent y'all a text. Some of the frames per second guys, shout out to them, are looking at it. And they, of course, are for some reason don't like it. I still can't wrap my mind around it. But Mike, he said his favorite character is AJ.
I can see that though.
I could see that too. That's exactly what I said, Mo.
I can see that. That tracks.
It does.
I swear, I've listened to them
yep.
for years. That tracks.
That's why you don't like the show. But that's why he doesn't like the show. That's why he ain't really keen to it. So and when I explained to him, I was like, bro, Tony is the main character, and he was legit shocked. Like, what? Like that's the person we're supposed to like.
The person that on the
like,
cover
yes,
on
dude.
the cover when you click on.
I mean,
Max,
taking all of that out of it. Of course, he may have been being facetious a little, but I was like, bro, like, yeah, that Tony is my favorite character. Is everybody probably who watching this?
Pretty
Tony
much
is their
just
favorite
about,
character. Yeah. And he was like, that's his least favorite. I was like, okay, well, it makes sense why you don't like it then. But I say that to say, I'll be the person to shoot AJ some bill this week. He actually was making sense. Like, he actually was making sense for his brain when he talking about
time out. This scene, he made sense.
This scene.
Y'all gonna have to explain. Y'all gotta explain to me.
I get it. I get exactly what Spike's saying.
In this conversation, he's making sense. He's like, first of all, bro, this is fucking Blockbuster. No, I'm not taking this serious. Yeah, I'm calling out. Yeah, I'm missing days. And yes, I'm going to steal the movie shit and sell it and make extra money because I'm going in the city to kick it. Like, yeah, I'm not sure of the allowance that AJ was getting, but I'm sure it wasn't enough for and it shouldn't be. I want to be very clear. If I'm your parent, I ain't providing your lifestyle, my nigga. Mm-hmm. You 20 years old, I'm assuming, 19, 20 years old. So yeah, I'm not paying for you to go get $500 bottles $500 bottles of Cristal at the club. I'm not paying for that. You gotta have a roof over your head, you get clothes. However, I still want to do that shit, bro. And if I found a way to make some money, my dad is this big fucking criminal. Why y'all in here yelling at me, being hypocrites, telling me that I shouldn't do it? Every time I do some shit that I make some money from and I'm popping from when I was having the parties, like you said, y'all got a problem with that. Like, no, nigga, I'm not going to an Ivy League school. Y'all need to get that shit out of your head, get down on my level and provide me with whatever resources that y'all can provide me with to be the best version of AJ. And they just shitting on him because they want him to be something he's not. So I got him in this scene.
Yeah, but it's like the issue is effort, bro. That's I think that's all.
I'm applying the effort to the things that I want to do, though. I'm not doing that bullshit y'all want me to do.
But you're not doing anything, though. That's
I gotta step in.
Yeah,
I gotta step in.
Okay.
I had the same exact sentiment during this scene, and here's why. A couple reasons. I'm a strong believer that your friends and the people that you're close to and the people that you love don't surprise you, right? They can't surprise you. My friends can't surprise me at all, especially the ones I've had since elementary school. All right, because I've known them for so long, I know exactly who they are, and I've accepted. When I say you're my friend, you my family, you my brother, that means I accepted all the bullshit that comes with you as well, right? So if I have a nigga that I know is notorious for being late, and I invite him somewhere he's late, I'm crazy for getting mad at him because I know he's gonna be late. Like I understand that, I accepted that. Shout out to On Deck TV show. Spike Lee got the shirt on. A few weeks ago, they were talking about the Piece by Piece movie by Pharrell's Lego movie, which is very good work, man. I really enjoyed that film. But one of the things that stood out the most to me is Pharrell talking about his grandmother, like noticed his attraction to music when he was young and like beating on pots and pans. I'm talking about he was young, like 3-4 years old, and bought him a drum set. Like bought him like this little walk around drum set so he can actually get that outlet out. And just the importance of someone noticing something that you're interested in and something you could be good at and pouring into that. And I think that's what Spike means when he says that as well, right? AJ, to my original point, AJ is going to be AJ. He's going to be a dipshit. Like the fact that they're still angry, the fact that they're shocked that he got fired from Blockbuster, it shouldn't be a shock. That's who AJ is. But we have seen AJ do some redeemable things and good things. He does have a strong suit in certain areas. Like he did know how to run a party. He did know how to make money from that. And the fact that I'm good at something, which is ironic because Tony's into illegal activity, you would think that Tony would look at that and just say, oh, you know what? Maybe this is something that, you know, we can figure out on its own way. But the thing is, Tony and Carmelo look at it, it has to be our way, right? AJ's not metal.
Boy.
Like, he has to do things his way. And if they bent their ideology a little bit and kind of fed into some of the things that AJ's good at and let him do it his way, they might be surprised at the results. So when AJ said that, like, you know, when I did this, y'all shut it down. When I did that, like, these are things that he was actually good at. So it made sense. Like I said, this scene only. There's other scenes in this episode where he completely gets what he deserves. But I understood. But I also...
He flicked his parents off, bro. Like...
That was gone. You done done that before, Mo. Come on.
Nah, I ain't never flicked. Nah, never the flick.
You ain't never done that as a kid?
Never the flick. Now, you might be like, ooh, you know, when the door closed, but they ain't gonna flick off. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's different. But I get what y'all saying. I mean, yeah, in some sense, but it's like these are just like one-off things that he does, and it's like they didn't necessarily tell you not like you sold your drums and they didn't have no real problem. They didn't want nobody in the house, but they had no problem with it. But you didn't continue to keep hustling. Like the problem with AJ, I think, even with the parent, and y'all right, it is funny coming from them and being hypocritical parents. Like, and I got some things to say about Carmela this episode. I mean, the shocker there, but like there's just the hypocrisy of it all. So it's just AJ. It's like just the low effort. Like you started off, you went to school, you dropped out of school or got kicked out of school. Okay, let's get you a regular job. You got fired from that. So it's like you're not like okay, we were okay with you working a job because you don't have the makings of a varsity athlete in college, but you can't even keep Blockbuster.
But I think that's kind of the point of it. The low effort is in the things that y'all are expecting me to do. If you talk about the party planning that he mentioned, or if you talk about even him, like to think, if you worked at Blockbuster, bro, I'm not stealing the movie shit and selling that to. I don't even know nobody that want this bullshit. This like he had to probably create an eBay page or whatever it may be that they was doing back in. He had to actually sell that shit and know that there was value in a Star Wars stand-up that was sitting in a Blockbuster store. And he had to think about, okay, are they gonna catch me doing this? Probably not, which he was wrong in, yeah.
Right.
But still, he puts effort towards the things that he wants to do, and that's what Rich said, and I think the show was trying to explain, like, yeah, the effort is there. It's just not towards that. Like, I'm not going to be this. I ain't gonna be metal, bro. And if they had understood that, they would have serviced AJ a lot better. This is the only belt I've ever seen.
Now that I will agree. I agree. If they gave him more of that, like the more like they try to push him to be on the straight path, he's more like Tony. So he's more like Tony. Let's like. Season 6, Tony notices that, and right when he starts to groom AJ, they get him out of here or something. You know what I mean?
If facts, and even if Tony took the time to explain to him after having a session with Melvin, even if Tony told him like, look, bro, I don't want you to be what I am in this life. However, there is a fine line that you can walk where you don't got to cross over to this side and you can still be successful. Tony deal with those type of people every day. Like all of these people that are trying to come up and got these schemes going on with Tony's, they not gangsters. We've seen it through all the 6 seasons of this show. He could have taught AJ to be that. Like you could have like gave him some knowledge to be that, but instead you want this nigga to be Brian, Carmella's cousin, and he ain't got that elk, bro.
That's a good point. I think that makes for a great rewrite. Yeah, that would make for a great rewrite. That could be a Bing episode in itself.
That would have been a great series after this if they had led it into it. If like they had taught AJ to be just like, I ain't bad, but I know how to like I can skew the line.
Yeah.
I ain't Tony Soprano, but I ain't a lame. I ain't Artie Bucco either. Like I'm somewhere in the middle.
He's like a Christopher almost like.
Yeah, but on the other, but not Christopher is a full gangster. Like not even Christopher. Like just someone like what's my
like
man
Jackie Jr. but more successful.
Exactly. There you go. Boom.
Okay. Yeah, that's the rewrite. I know we've had problems, so that's the solution. The rewrite is that he tries to get away, and then Tony has to embrace it, almost like Kanan with Tariq, right? You
like, I can't hide this shit from you. Like, it's in your blood. Yeah. My dad was a gangster. I'm a gangster. I don't want you to be a gangster, but I'm going to teach you how to be successful as a civilian, but not a straight arrow line type of guy. Like, I ain't expecting you to go to fucking Yale, dude.
Here's what make it even more interesting. Now I gotta hide it from your mama. Now I gotta hide it from Meadow.
Exactly.
Now we got
exactly. I'm pulling you to the side. I'm giving you sauce. This is how you handle this. This is how you handle that. Exactly. Yeah. You got the best of both worlds then.
Yeah. And it's you gotta keep, man, come on. It was there. It's like Dexter, for those that watch Dexter, when there was like this younger dude he was trying to groom because he kind of had the same issue with like on the verge of being a serial killer. And Dexter tried to groom, but eventually got out of pocket and he had to take him out of there. But spoiler alert, but it was an interesting thing where it's like, oh, Dexter seen a young version of himself and he didn't want to be involved, but he knew I got to keep cleaning up this nigga's mess. So let me just bring him to the fold and show him how to do it. So yeah, that would have been so interesting, man. Like, yeah, anyway, we'll talk more about that. Might be a Bing episode, like rewriting AJ. So yeah, we get to the pillow talk moment, and Carmella says that AJ has a dead streak in him. That F's everything up all the time, and then Meadow comes in because she's seen the light on, and
man, both the kids got me fucked up this episode.
Meadow is nuts, bro. Meadow,
bro. Everybody got me fucked up. Like this is what I was talking about on Another Week in the Books, Rich. Like, why I gotta be up because you up? Like, why? Like, right? Why you cutting the light and shit off, bro? We sleep. What's going on? And now I gotta have this conversation with you, and you mad because I'm disinterested. Yes, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, bro. I'm asleep. So yeah.
Yo.
Spending being 20 and spending $1,000 a night on champagne
Cristal.
is crazy too. Yeah, Cristal. Yeah, nigga. Tony said, "What about that girl he hit the car? Does she party in a wheelchair?"
I wonder what Armand parents did. They was in Forbes.
I know, right?
Oh, bro, Armand having AJ pay for stuff in your family, your parents are in Forbes.
He said they took turns.
Because he know he could do that. Or not?
But he said they took turns too. It was just AJ's turn.
AJ said
that's how I process it.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
I don't believe.
Oh, you don't believe it?
Okay, I think AJ said that to his peoples because it sounded
save face.
You're
a buster. You're a blockbuster, is what it is.
You could tell by the way that nigga looked at that bill that they ain't take turns.
They ain't take turns. Nah, because he had more clout. You know what I mean? Because at that age, Forbes, what does that mean to a 20-year-old? Like, what does that mean? Oh, they're in Forbes. Like, so your dad's
you think they rich?
Well, they might say, oh, they're rich, but like it ain't fly though. But your dad is a gangster, and I seen him on the news. Now that's fly. At that age, you're not. We're older. We're like Forbes is big dog money, but like at 19, okay. But yeah, I just Meadow coming and saying she gonna move to California. Like, if there's not a stronger indication that Phineas does not want to be with you. Like, he was contemplating dental school at one point, and he said, I don't know what I want to do, and maybe I do photography, do art or whatever. Then he finally made the decision after he came back and visited your dad when he was in a coma, and Vito, put that hand on him. And he was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm done with this. I'm done with you. And now she's going his way because he probably couldn't tell her no
Nah,
She
Finn
is
was
This is
probably salty as
after.
hell when she said she was going to
But she said she
California.
was
Finn was like,
going.
"Fuck." I know he like,
Bro.
"Fuck, man,
Like, you
damn."
talking about a nigga that was sleeping on the floor when he had the opportunity to sleep with his girlfriend, and now she's following you to California. Like, what Carmela said was like the key. Like, I thought y'all was having trouble. Like, what you follow this nigga to Cali now? Crazy.
Yeah, and it's hard too because again, we talk about AJ being similar to Tony. Guess what? Meadow is similar to Carmela because she's settling for less. You're settling for a guy that you really, could score higher, but you're settling and you put, and I think the same thing with Carmela. Like I feel like there's a similarity there.
We've established that Meadow got mid box, so can she get higher?
I mean, again, like Carmela.
Like, do we know?
Think about who.
Do we
think
know
about,
that she can get higher than Finn?
I
was
think
about
she
to
can.
say, think about who she with at the end of the series. You know what I mean? It's just more.
See, that's where you learn some more abilities. You know what I mean? You start to learn. I can get this money. I can do some things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think
with nothing but squares, and the only person that wasn't a square was Jackie Jr. And that nigga said, "Beat it." That nigga lied.
Oh man,
that nigga lied and was out his slide on her. Like they had to pull up on Jackie Jr.
Yo,
man.
wait a minute. She got cheated out by Jackie Jr. and Noah. Noah,
crazy. Both of them got, and Finn tried to leave her. Finn couldn't even. Finn was like, man,
like yeah, he was,
I'm not even trying to sleep.
The Finn said, "I'm gonna sleep on the floor.
I'm gonna sleep on the floor where we have all the opportunity in the world to be sleeping in the same bed together. We over my homeboy house.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I live here. Like you come here every night. This nigga like I'm sleep on the floor.
See,
what?
Finn was trying to find an exit plan, bro. Like,
think about this. Even just for the simple fact that I just want to sleep comfortably. I just want to sleep on a mattress. He said, you know what? I don't even want to go there. I'd rather sleep on the floor just to let you know I ain't fucking with you. Bro. I'll deal with the back pain. That shit's insane.
It is. There's a girl. Yeah.
It's insane.
And that's your girlfriend. It's not like your homegirl and you ain't trying to make shit weird. Like
the Jews probably definitely
it ain't a friend with benefits. This is your girl. Y'all talking about getting married. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the mid box. It's the mid box, and then you like super dramatic too. Like it's like, dang, it's like it's okay when we do our thing, it's cool. But then after that, you so dramatic, you making chili when we ain't got no air in the house. Like you are nuts. I can't do this.
The mid box supersede all that though, because you'll put up with all that if the box.
That's why I said. I mean, well, however you say that's at the top, like the mid box.
Hey, I promise you gonna eat that chili in that hot apartment.
You right. You right. Hey, all I need is give me a cold glass of water with that hot chili.
Hey, give me a right.
So we still get. Yeah, you're right. Okay. But yeah, Tony.
Around with permanent. They walk around with permanent post nut clarity when they fuck with Meadow. Permanent. That shit don't never
permanent post nut clarity is
just never leave. Like it's like,
wow.
This is what it's about to be, huh?
Oh,
dang! I will revisit that. That's pretty good.
It is.
But yeah, Tony pretending to be asleep was hilarious too. Like that was funny.
I feel him though, man. Like what? Like he said when just the exact words he said when he came in at AJ, he's like, bro, can I just come home and it fucking be normal, bro? Like I done gave y'all everything y'all want, and still y'all find things to bitch about that ain't got nothing to do with anything. I'm out here in the real world. I'm dealing with real gangster shit, and y'all are bitching about the most frivolous things, but that's what makes it so great too.
Yeah, well, Tony had it the other way. This just show you like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's what this whole series is like, really. Tony had the other way. He was on his own. He didn't, you know what I mean? He that's why he came back, and now he come back. It's damn if you do, damn if you do.
What you deal with.
It's dope when I'm single. Then damn, I want somebody to snug up on a hug. Then it's like it's dope when I'm with a girl. It's like dang, I want to go back outside and see what. You know, it's just one of them things. You know, the human experience will never satisfy.
Facts. I think it's interesting. That is a really good point. I think the most interesting thing that I got from this too, Mo, you spoke this earlier. AJ is the ultimate underachiever. Mm-hmm. And here you have a daughter who is being able to be accepted in medical school or law school, whichever one her choosing is. And that still does, like she still don't even trust her to make these decisions, even though we've all sit here and agreed that this is dumb for her to be going with Finn across the country. You talking about somebody that went to Columbia, an Ivy League school. She's eligible for law school and medical school. She got a connection to get her a job, to get her some, if she wants to go to medical school, to get her in the door. And you still are doubting her, just like you doing AJ. So like you can't do no right. Like regardless of what you do, Carmela is always going to be skeptical of you, and we've seen that in a perfect example of these two scenes.
Yeah, that was a great point. Great point. It show everybody's their own worst enemy in this show, pretty much.
Yeah, and I think the thing for Carmela is like she wants you to like it has to fit this ideal image for her, and it goes for some of the lines that she said in Paris about the people not existing before you got there. Like I think she has this idea of her children that way as well. Like it's supposed to play out for you guys the way I saw it in my head, and that's not how life works.
Some really interesting stuff when we get there. Tony and Phil, they at we're just gonna call it a Home Depot. And they talk about no-show jobs, and pretty much Phil is like, hey, we ain't going to be able to do 5 anymore. And the tension really starts to build here now that Phil is the acting boss and John is folding clothes in Danbury. Then we find out also about that vitamin racket. It didn't go exactly.
Again.
They were all over the floor.
Again, yeah. Again.
Mo, again with the vitamins, Mo.
Again with the vitamin. Hey, he brought it up later, too.
I fuck with Phil, man.
Yeah,
and nigga pulled out a bankroll on him. Like, man,
he's like, bro, all right, hey, look,
like,
man,
goddamn, man,
you hurting like that? Like, you hurt like that? All right, man, what you need? Holla at staff.
Hey, that's one of the best flexes.
Set up, get you one,
bro. That's one of the best flexes in this series. He pulled out the bank. Hey, bro, okay, you keep talking about this shit, man.
Hey. That nigga pulled out the roll on.
That is hilarious. That's a little nigga like moment.
Yeah, like I'm from the sun. You like he pulled out the bankroll
because
like,
that's a Tony move.
It was like he made sure, like if he bring up this vitamin shit, I'm gonna make sure I got the biggest goddamn chunk of money in my pocket. Like I'm gonna put him in his place about this vitamin shit. That was hilarious, bro.
Bruh. Like
he said, what do you want? Like, again with the vitamin shit, like okay, man, like here we go.
Phil from the old school, bro. Like that's why we like him so much. Is like
we ain't finna keep talking about this, man.
Yeah, bro. He's a great acting boss. But yeah, and then it said, but the thing is, it said the boxes were ripped open by Christopher. So this is like a little nod to give us back into again another mental note. Like, remember we've been talking about this, y'all. Keep tracking a decision made later in the series. This is another mental note here. The vitamins, whatever, they were busted open to saying Christopher had something to do with it. He was involved some kind of way. There's just another mental note that Tony takes on, but like kind of puts it to the back. So that's something that I just want to keep a counter of how we get to where we get to later. So, but yeah, in the end, everybody's just leaning and squeezing pennies from everybody. Like that's what we're starting to get to, which is why the veto offer was considered. You know what I mean? I feel like,
niggas. Hey man, remember Best Man Holiday when that nigga looked to take dates? Like, do you need some money?
Do you need some money?
Yeah, man. Like,
that's a hard man. Listen,
nigga Phil said, I'm tired of hearing about this shit, and I'm the one that got slighted. But you know what? Just to make you happy, just so you ain't gotta bring this shit up again, man. What's up, nigga? What you need?
I ain't seen the old. Hey, that is hilarious. That's one of the best response in this show for me. Like just pulling out the bankroll on him, like, bro, come on, man. What are we talking about?
Yeah, because you complain about vitamins, bro.
Yeah, I love the fact that we didn't see the previous times because again with the vitamins, you could tell somebody has said this multiple times. Like, man, I done let you. Hey, bro, if it was gonna be all this, you shouldn't have let me do it. I'd rather you told John at this point.
Yeah, because you came to me like at the carnival. Yeah. You know, and it's cool because this whole episode is. You agreed. This whole episode is a dropped you in something episode because literally they drop us right in. They're snapping on AJ. Like we didn't see him get fired. Nothing. They just drop us in. So even that again with the vitamins, they just drop us in, which is a really good formula for Sopranos, dropping you into something. You kind of got to piece it together, the timeline. So, but yeah, Tony's eating breakfast, and Carmela brings up the trip to Paris, and again the subtlety of Tony. Again, how tight money is, and at the end, Tony tells her to go to Italy. And she was like, well, no, I don't got tickets for that. Obviously, Italy, if she go to Italy, he got connections there. It can make the trip so much cheaper because of his connections. Because he knows he's going to have to pay for something. And then he asked, "How's the euro doing?" So he's really trying not to fund this thing, tightening his belt for sure. Anything I want? Yeah.
So she won the trip from the fair.
Right.
And I seen this in Reddit. This is not an original thought from me. But don't you think it was kind of set up for her to win the trip? Being that they knew that Carmella was doing a silent auction, like of course she's going to win it. Like no one else, like it's Tony Soprano.
Oh, this is from
like,
her auction.
This is from the silent auction. The silent auction was at the fair that Paulie put on.
Oh, okay.
And I read this on Reddit. Yeah, I read this on Reddit. So she got this trip from that fair that Paulie put on. And $5,000 to go to Paris ain't bad.
No,
like that's not a bad. So I don't think it was a money saving thing. Him requesting her to go to Italy. It was more so him being disconnected with her. Like he's offering this. She's like, well, we already got this, and I just think that Paris was the thing, and it was a disconnection, and they showed it on the phone calls and stuff when she was even over in Paris. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think disconnect, but think about it. She already got the spec house thing. He already got to come out the bag for that, and he know anything with her, she's gonna find a roundabout.
You think he had to? You think that she was expecting him to pay for it? Because she was never like.
She's gonna need additional money that's not in the allowance he gives her.
You think that Tony paid for Roe and her to go? You think he paid the $5,000?
I don't know if he paid the $5,000. I mean, but he knew you're gonna need spending money. The spending money gonna be more than the $5,000 that y'all got to get there. He knows his wife. You got high taste, and now you're gonna be in Paris. I know what you'll spend over here in Jersey, or even going over across the bridge to New York. I know you're gonna need money, which is why he ends up breaking her off like he did. But he threw the purse in there to kind of, I feel like he threw the purse in to kind of be like, hey, the purse costs this much, so hey, you can take these, couple stacks right here. But he knew he was coming out of pocket. I think that trip, and again, money is tight, which is why they're complaining with Phil and this whole thing which is why the veto offer is considered. It's over for the little guy. All of this stuff is starting to come to a head. Everybody's getting money is getting real tight. You know what I mean? So, Johnny,
I know this. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mo.
No, I was gonna say Johnny Sack's out the loop, and he's a great earner. So, now we're starting to get into, get your hand out of my pocket.
Yeah, like he told Silhouette in an episode, all our business is intertwined. I know Sopranos would never do this in a million years, and I wouldn't want them to do it, but there is a part of me that's would have loved to see in an alternate universe Carmella going to Italy and bumping into Furio.
Yeah. Like said she was going to Paris. Like
as many times as I watched this, I've never thought about that.
Or what if he was
like,
in
when they brought
Paris?
Up Italy? Like, that would have been way too much TV.
Too much.
Or even going to Italy and seeing Furio would have been way too much. Like I said, it's not a Sopranos thing. It would have ruined it unless they did a very smart way to do it. But just the idea of, and part of that is me just when we talked about it, meeting the Furio character, that behind the shoulder shot of him like fucking up the massage spot, compared to what his character went to. It's like, man, I had such high hopes for that character, and just he would have been perfect person to be around. Like right now.
Yep. Perfect person. You need a soldier like that. I swear.
Yeah, man.
Guns blazing.
I also love when Carmella's leaving and Tony like, wait to see the shit on TV. And she looks like, nigga, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
just
it's
that
like,
little,
just that subtle
nod of just the opposite of like, because that's how Tony treats her all the time. Like Tony don't give a fuck about anything that she wants to do. And here you are, you got something you interested in. Carmella gives her right back. Like, nigga, she didn't even say nothing. She looked at it and looked at him and walked out.
Looked at him like, why would you? Yeah.
What? Edie Falco's cold, bro.
Right. She like, I got what I want. Like, what the fuck would I pay attention to this shit for? Like,
I'll talk about it. There's a later scene about when he was in a coma. She bring it up, but I'll wait to that scene because it's so dirty, but it's funny. But yeah, I know what to talk about when we get there. But I would say I do think Carmella deserves it. As much as I know we might give her a lot of slack, which a lot of viewers do, because she's meant to be that type of character for viewers. But I do think Carmella deserves it. I do. I would say that,
yeah, she needed a vacation.
She deserved it because I mean, as much as she's a finesser too, but I do think she does deserve a vacation because even through all that, she's held the family together, and I respect it.
She needed it, but I didn't respect the way she asked for it. Like
No, that I didn't.
I didn't respect that. Like she like just come in with some more gumption. Like look, man, I'm going. Me and Ro, you ain't gotta go. Me and Ro, we finna go because we got this trip. This is what I need, and boom. Like instead of trying to beat around the bush.
This is one of my pet peeves. Maybe it's just a me thing, but hey, Tony, I need to talk to you. Just say what you need to say.
Just tell me
Don't
what
hit
you
me with I
need,
need to
bro.
talk to you.
Don't
I
preface it
hate
with
that
we need
shit.
to have a conversation or like,
Yeah.
nah, just tell me what the fuck you want.
Y'all too locked in for that. Y'all been
Yeah, we
together way
married,
too
bro.
long.
Well, that think about it. That speaks to the end at the end. Like they're together, but they're not. This is an arrangement now. Because even then, is it this scene or later where she's like,
no, I don't agree with this arrangement. Though. I don't think neither one of them look at that like that.
Here's why I think it is.
Like both, there's still love and like true.
There's care there. But it's not love because you think about what she says later.
We can talk about that when we get there. Okay. I will regress until we get there.
Well, I think they care enough to be together. I think that it's a general understanding they have. When they had that sit down, and she was basically like, "You can have your horse, just not in this house," and in exchange for my spec house. I believe then that this was arrangement. I think everything moving forward, if you really look at it, that's why they're never on the same page again, because it's now like we realize we're better together than we are apart. Even if
I disagree,
I don't love you anymore. She never came back and really.
But they passed that though.
She said this episode, like, I should tell you.
I was gonna say there's another scene.
She doesn't say it though.
I'll say my thoughts.
All right. I get what you're saying, Mo.
All right,
but I don't agree, but I get what you're saying.
Okay. So Tony,
I want to know how this happened. This is one of the most epic scenes.
Yes, it
in
is.
This series for me.
Yes,
because how did this happen,
bro? All right, so there's a deleted scene, y'all. It's actually a kind of a deleted scene where Vito calls them basically trying to get back in. Calls Tony and Seal is on the other side, and he's talking about like coming back. There's a scene, but they took the scene out, just like Big P when he was like with the feds or whatever. It's an interesting scene. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on YouTube, the deleted scene. It does make a little more sense in some sense why Vito came back, because it's like Vito's smarter than this. He's a pretty smart dude for the most part. So, but anyway, so Vito's in the mall. Tony's reading the paper, and Tony's like, "What the?" And he said, "Hey, Tony." And my brother's over there, and bro, how fast it like Tony like, nigga, I will fold you and him. What kind of like what does that mean? And not only that, that's the brother that got whipped by Mustang Sally with the terrible hair. You remember that?
I don't think that's him.
Nah, I think that's him, bro. Look at his hair.
I know, but I thought dude really got fucked up. Mustang Sally ain't killed dude.
Nah, he ain't kill him. He was in the hospital. Remember? And remember Vito was there. Yeah. Remember Vito was
Maybe it was. I thought that was his cousin or something. Either way,
look. Just if you got to pull it up, look at his hair. That hair alone. That's him.
You never forget that hair, man. But the best part about that is Tony's response was every real nigga's response.
What's that supposed to mean?
What's that supposed to mean?
Fuck your brother.
Yeah. Why are you randomly telling me your brother over there? What's that supposed to mean? Like, nigga, like, you trying to sandbag me? I'll cut your fucking throat open. Like, stop playing with me.
Like, that was the black.
Your bitch ass brother already over there.
That was so black. I'm sorry.
And Vito's response. And Vito, nothing. He's just there.
No.
He's just there. That's all. Because and when you the perfect shot, I love the shot that they did. Because when you see Vito's brother, he's staring and he got the hand in the pocket. Like, what's up? I'm ready.
Yeah, he do. Yeah.
Like you said, Mo, I'll fold you and him up in this bitch, man. I'll shut this whole mall down. Stop playing with me. I'm Tony fucking Soprano.
Yeah. That is so fun. I guess he just say a witness, like if something were to happen, I got a witness kind of thing. But it came off wrong. But I'm assuming that's what he was trying to get at.
Even if he a witness, bro, I can get him touched still. Like I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like I love Tony's response. It's one of the best responses in the episode to this. This is one of the most memorable scenes in the whole series for me, because it's like, as a viewer, you're looking at, I got so many questions. Like, one, Tony usually got a driver. He in the mall in the middle of the day by himself.
Reading the
like
paper.
reading
Bro.
the paper. Like what? How did that happen? Like up until, and we ain't even talking about seasons ago, episodes ago. Like he's still getting people to come pick him up and take him places. When do Tony get to slip off by himself and be in the mall just reading the paper? So
Who
that was
goes
the
to the
first
mall to read the paper? I mean, I know.
in the
Listen,
coffee shop.
I know the mall used to be a thing. Like it used to be a
Yeah.
hangout spot. So I give it credit there, but that doesn't seem like where Tony would go for his solace and his peace.
Yeah, like he would be somewhere else. And then the fact that Vito followed the nigga there or knew that he was gonna be there. Like, how did Vito find him?
Vito had to follow probably. I was thinking this too, but remember when he pulled up in the city, he was looking at Saks Reals and he was driving in slow motion, looking at it. I'd imagine he'd been creeping around. He wasn't driving his car, was it? He was driving some other car, I'd imagine, right?
Stolen
So-
car, yeah.
A stolen car.
So-
So he's like, you know,
I
kind
called
of.
my brother. I called my brother up. Hey, I need you to go somewhere with me. We finna follow Tony Soprano to the mall or wherever he go to, and then I'm gonna creep up on him and ask him about this proposition that I have. Not to mention, I ain't talked to my brother in who knows how long, because I've been in New Hampshire doing God knows what with God knows who. It's
playing
just-
with train
it's
toys.
playing with train toys, making Johnny cakes, all that good shit.
All that, yeah.
But this is just an interesting ass scene in the sense of I fuck with it because I liked it, but it don't make a lot of sense. It don't make a
kind of
lot
how
of
he got
sense at
there.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
none of
I-
this
I-
makes sense.
Speaking to that point, I wanted to ask both of you, how much time, I know Spike, you've been saying this forever. I always wanted to know, like the time lapse. How much time, how long you think Vito's been gone?
Yes, that's a great question too. Like the time from Vito being gone to him showing up here, like it seems like at least
2 to 3
I would
months.
say
I say about 2
I
to
would
3
say
months.
I was gonna say 90 to 120 days, something like that.
Yeah,
Because
that was the
the
night
res-
of the wedding to now.
Right? To John's wedding to now. And think about all the things that have changed since then. Feel more so like fuck John, he's the acting boss now.
Yep.
And even with this, like it was almost like Vito was out of the picture, like they had forgot about him.
Yeah, they kind of
Like
let it go. That's why it got to
that
be
Tony-
long enough.
Yeah, the shock that Tony had when he was like, you, like it lets you. It's been a long time. Like we legit stopped looking for you, bro. And you pop back up.
My favorite part, my favorite part of this entire scene is Vito. Who the fuck do you think you talking to? Like after all this time, knowing you should have just stayed where you were, you got the audacity to come and try to play me like I'm stupid and still not own up to the shit and say it was the blood pressure. It was a
I'm
medication
better
for
now.
my blood pressure.
I'm better now.
Yeah, I could. He said, "Hey, this man said,
I'm
not a
fag.
fag.
I
it
never
fuck
was.
with my head. It fuck with my head, but I'm over there. I could probably get a letter from my doctor. This nigga Tony said a note from your doctor saying you don't like to suck cock.
Like this is how long did you think about this? That's what the part that gets me. I like, bro, how did you come up with like
Why did you think this was gonna work?
I always play in my head like if I'm trying to come back and I'm trying to figure out how to finesse, I've been calling it, they obviously know how do I like blood pressure medicine, like he might have been better with some weight loss type of thing or something. Like they got estrogen in.
Oh, that's the thing though, Mike. I mean, excuse me, that's the thing though, Mo. Nothing would have been better.
No, nothing. But I'm just
nothing.
saying,
Like there's literally nothing that you could say to be like, well, you know, I thought I was gay, but I'm not. Like, what the fuck are you talking about,
you're
bro?
catching. Like you're catching.
Right? What are we talking
There's
about?
there's
You're gay.
There's
Like, and that
there's
I
no
don't say
confusion.
that in no judgmental form, but
Yeah,
you're
but
gay,
there's
man.
just no
Like,
confusion. You're catching. Like there's no.
yeah, like,
You're
come
not in the
on.
phase, brother. Like you
It's not a
voluntarily,
phase, bro. Yeah, there's no
voluntarily
program.
out with
There's no
Jimbo.
program that's gonna help this. Like you're gay. Just admit to
This
it.
is you.
And then
This is you.
and then we can figure out from there what you're gonna do. But you, like, I would have felt so disrespected if I was Tony and he tried to get that like the doctor's note or I'm better now and like I don't have to be around. Like, bro, no, stop.
You just prolonging the lie, bro. Like
Stop, bro.
is this where he brings up the full scheme of like what he thinks he can do? Like he said, look, I know the construction
can get
thing
the
is
shit
over, but
going
he said I
down.
can go out in the AC, and it's a little bit there. And even then, he stepped back on this thing. They're a little bit more accepting out there. Like so, it's like okay, he knew what's up. Like okay, I'm full of it, but hey, if this is what it takes You know, in the words
Hey,
of
man,
Ralph Cifaretto.
I might have pistol whipped him right there in the mall for real. Cause stop playing with me.
Facts, man. Like, who
remember
you
when
think
Corky-
you talking to, bro?
Remember when Corky was in the car with Christopher? And Corky was like, maybe it's a midlife crisis. And Chris is like sucking a cock. Like, seriously? You really about to like
you're going through something.
Hey, bro, it's a lot of steps you got to take.
There's a lot to get there. Like, there's a lot to say, man. Listen, you know what? I ain't trying yet.
Medication, anything. Like, it's midlife crisis medication. It's still a lot you got to go through to
you
be
gotta
like, I'm
get
gonna
there.
do this. Like, nah, bro.
Commit.
That's a commitment, nigga. That's a commitment, bro.
When you're out,
it was real though. What if it was real? What, can you imagine being in the doctor office and the doctor's telling you, all right, man, I'm about to prescribe you this side effects. There might be some heartburn. There might be some fatigue. Oh, you might want to suck a dick every now and then. Like, what?
I can't breathe.
Imagine your doctor telling you this.
Like those commercials.
Like
the commercials.
Side effects may cause you to want to lick balls.
May cause dizziness, diarrhea, wanting to sleep with men.
Bro,
what the fuck are we talking about, bro?
They will slide that in a commercial, bro. Like, that's even funnier, Rich. The fact you said, what if it was true?
Look though, like you said, Mo,
Mo, you want to run that by me one more time?
Right, bro, slow down.
But could you imagine if we was listening to one of these commercials and they sliding in like Mo was saying, and one of the side effects was that you may want to suck a dick or sleep with the same sex? Like, bro, no, what?
Desire, they're like heartburn, failure to sleep, depression, desire of penis. Like whoa, what?
Bro,
like,
no, let me die, bro.
Bro,
that go on and die, man. I'm sorry.
Oh man, now that's just funny. It's just again, y'all know how we are. It's satire.
Yeah, and again, this is nothing towards the homosexual community. We just talking about the
veto.
Yeah, veto. And what goes to
audacity.
The lie, the audacity of the lie. We don't give a fuck about the lifestyle.
That's the funniest thing about
it's more
veto.
so the lie.
Yeah, it's how he lying.
You came back lying. Like, bro, you don't want to get back in. Like, you came back lying. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, you playing, bro. Like, you came in this mall, like, you playing. What like, what's going on?
Man,
that's one of my favorites.
It's one of the best scenes of the
This is
series.
one of my favorite scenes. This is one of my favorite scenes. I love how Tony acted this scene. Like, bro, man.
Bro,
like,
it's complicated. I'm sure it does get
lucky
complicated.
we right here in this coffee shop, my nigga. If not, I probably would have beat the shit out of you myself.
Oh, man. He would have beat him up like Chris.
Nigga said a lot more tolerant atmosphere in AC.
Bro.
With their support, I can get set up, man.
Bro, what is it? You ready for election, bro?
Maybe it's a midlife crisis. Sucking the cock.
That is riding the Hershey Highway.
Please don't turn your back on me, Tom.
Hey, they behavior after this with Vito. Anyway, we'll get to the later. There's a later scene where it's even funnier.
I'll be close, but not too close.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Here, bro.
Hey, Vito a wild dude.
He is, man.
My brother's over there.
Vito a wild dude. Man. He one of the most audacious dudes.
Nothing.
He one of the most audacious characters in this show.
It's complicated,
bro.
We at the back of the Bing, and Tony talks about the possibility of letting Vito back in a different way, and Silvio's line about Richie April.
Did we know Richie April had a gay nephew?
Yes.
Yeah, remember he was ballroom
Little
dancing
Richie.
in the house.
They called him Little Richie. He was doing ballet.
Hey man, he might have slapped Janice up over that. Like he might have like put his hands on Janice.
That was remember that's the whole reason he slapped her.
It's funnier now that y'all remind me because I didn't remember, and now I know exactly
it was like earlier. I remember
about.
I was like, bro, this is weird. They playing like that Tom and Jerry music.
Shit.
Yeah, that was the episode. That's how the episode opened.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and then Paulie can't even sit around it, bro. Like Paulie,
it's like Mo said, man. Something about the April crew, man.
Yeah, man.
It's
seriously.
What's going on with
what's going on with the April crew, man?
It's wild, and we'll talk about this throughout the episode. But it's wild, just because of how they live and what they believe in, like the hatred they have towards a certain group. It's just crazy. Like I always talk about like racism. Like racism is one of the silliest things to me. Like you don't like a nigga because they was born a certain way. Like nothing else. That's the only reason. That's the sole reason as to why you don't like them.
Because they look different.
And they really don't like gay people.
Like, they like for real about it.
Like, them, Yeah, man. Richard, say what you want about Richard Pryor, but he did the right thing. He did something like, damn.
Nah, he did the right thing.
But,
goodness gracious.
But it's not for us to understand. That's the life that they live. And
yeah, that's what they come
that's
from.
Their code and all that stuff. So
and they're in a little community. Like this is this small community of mob guys. Like they don't really hang with nobody else but each other. So they got their own understanding, and this is why they operate like that. It's just like any community, really. So we go. Is that all you have for that scene? The back of the bean, whatever.
Just Paulie. I think just the fact that Tony is considering this, and Paulie's just discussed it. He mentioned Salvatore Luciani, obviously Lucky, which is funny because Hernan, dude that plays Hernan, played Lucky Luciano in Boardwalk Empire.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, man. But just what you have to do, but you still trying to because you need that bread.
Mm-hmm.
And Paulie's kind of like that at the end thing, right? I can't believe you even considering this. Social club, he's got to go.
He's got to go.
Like, you know what I mean? What is there to talk about? Like, what is there even to discuss? And you really trying to sell us on this? You trying to, it could be a nice chunk of Paulie. So, man, fuck this. He ain't even say a word. I'm out, man. That nigga's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And that's just what I was saying. He didn't even say a word. Like, usually Paulie would voice his opinion. Like, it's to the point where they're like, man, fuck that shit. Like, y'all crazy.
As soon as he mentioned cash, he was like, "Cause damn, we don't got no respect. We ain't got no morals no more. It's all about the brunt money."
This is my hot take is this is after that phone call Paulie and Tony had last week with the cancer thing and how Tony didn't visit Bobby. I think Paulie made a decision.
When you say made a decision, what you mean?
He made a decision that fits a lot of people's theory later in the series. I think once he realized that, he's like, F that loyalty shit and all that. And then he had that call. He's like, Bobby's in the hospital. Yeah, I know. And he ain't went to see him. I think Paulie made a decision. That's why I feel like even right here, he's kind of turned off by the situation, but also like I'm kind of off you in a sense where it's like I got other things on my mind these days. Like he told oh boy when he said I got a lot on my mind these days. Mm-hmm. So yeah. We go to the next scene. Tony gives Carmela a Louis and some cash for her trip.
Did he pronounce Louis wrong?
No, he Batum. He said Batum.
It's Vuitton though, right?
That's how we say it.
I think it's. I mean, I don't know.
I thought
is that Italian?
Say Batum.
I wonder was that a purposeful?
Like
Louis Vuitton is Italian. Like Louis Vuitton is Italian, I believe.
So I'm gonna trust that he said it right there. We saying it wrong.
Interesting.
Everybody though, like in my whole life, this is the only time I've ever heard anybody say Batum.
Ever.
Before your podcast, Rich, I never heard nobody say Denzel.
Well, that's how his name is actually pronounced.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, okay, fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've never in my life not even heard a person say that to y'all. And I was like, damn, we've been saying it wrong the whole time.
Yeah, fair point.
So maybe
he's funny for even coming out years and years later and say actually it's pronounced Denzel.
Right, it's French.
You've been letting it ride. They say they gave you awards under the fault wrong. Like,
it's French. Louis Vuitton is French.
Okay, I figured as much. Since he was going to France.
Since he fought it for to go to France. Yes,
okay,
French.
That's pretty thoughtful, Tony. That was pretty thoughtful. How much money I think he gave her?
We said it.
Huh?
It was in there. Like the marker's on there.
10, 15.
15. Oh, like 5,000.
I think that was 15. I think that was 15 grand, yeah. Because you got the markers on the 5. There were 5 apiece, and I think it was 3 of them, so it was 15 grand.
Okay. So she
spending
says
money. 15 grand spending money. And she's like still has room to complain.
Yeah.
The bad one shit though. That was $1,000 maybe.
Yeah, but
it's
still
funny, man. I think they made the point of, Tony would have got a much larger, luxurious gift. He would have bought her the tote. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that back in the day. Now it's like, hold on, that shit's tight. I really don't even want to give you this $15,000.
I told you, I really want you to go to Italy. How much is the?
Well, y'all, I'm missing y'all said it twice now. Like it's tight. I haven't gotten that. I feel like they balling right now.
No, like
what? You don't think so?
Who's a good earner for them right now? Where they getting money from?
I think the rackets that already are in place. I think Tony is to a place now where I have so many rackets in place where I don't necessarily have to have a good earner. When he was talking about a lot of his work being intertwined with New York, like that means I'm seeing a fairly well percentage of money. Me personally, I see it different. I thought, and I may be wrong because both of you two have said it throughout this episode, and I was perceiving it differently. I thought that I'm doing all right now, to be honest with y'all. Like, I ain't fucked up, and I can give my wife 15 grand. I'll pay for the trip for you to go to Italy, excuse me, go to France just because I need some free time. Like I really don't want to go, and I don't really give a fuck if you go or not. But I could use a week alone by myself. So what's $20,000? That's how I was looking at it. But y'all said that, and I thought that maybe I missed something.
Yeah, no,
That could be me knowing like what's
I do.
It's three.
and all this.
It's three $5,000 stack, so that's 15 grand.
Yeah. You don't know. Again, Vito being gone, it really puts a dent in it. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
So Vito's gone. That's a big chunk. He was still cooking when Tony's in a coma. You know what I mean? He hooked Paulie up with that racket. Like, so Vito being gone, that changes everything. Then you look at the Patsy and whoever the other guy was, they try to make their small racket. It's like, oh, it's over for the little guy. So you're not getting those little small returns.
Okay.
Johnny Sack is not in the scene anymore. And we know he got the Vespas and
Still
whatever.
squeezing him.
Yeah, so now you're like, okay, and me and Phil are not really on the same. So he probably cutting, I'm cutting.
Okay.
So you start looking around, it's like, who's really earning like that? Like Tony's probably managing. He ain't broke, but he's looking at like, yo, this is about to wind down pretty fast if I don't find a consistent way of, because now they're focusing on health insurance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, based off what y'all saying, so do y'all think the main reason that he was even considering the shit that Vito was offering is because money was tight?
Yep.
Got you. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I looked at it differently, but
because Tony's not like this. Not a moral thing for Tony. Like it's not the right thing.
He don't give two fucks.
We so far past that now. This is early season. Maybe Tony was still conscious. Not now. It's like nah. But she says, when you were in a coma, I told you I loved you. I should do that more. And he said nothing stopping you, and she doesn't say it. This is why I say that it's just an arrangement. They just have an understanding for each other. It's like, hey, this is what we're doing. Like when two people are married, but they're not in it anymore. We just doing this, not even for the kids, but because it's better for us. This whole thing works better when we're together for events, for societal things in the mob. It just works better when we're together. But other than that, they're not. I don't feel like they're really in it. They care about each other, but I just don't think it's anything after that.
Interesting.
Because look, she says, you could do what boys do. So she pretty much giving them the green light. Like before, it's like to go ahead.
I don't think she meant go get head from a stripper.
Bruh.
I think she meant just like chill out, not have to be worried about me nagging.
That is, bro.
I don't think she meant
She definitely didn't mean.
She did, bro.
No, that's what Mo was implying. Like she was like go get head from the stripper. Like no, I think that they're in a place now when she tells him stuff like go do what boys do. It's like you can relax. You don't have to worry about what me and you been discussing with AJ. You don't have to worry about the Meadow situation. You're like, even when he said, can I at least come home one day to not y'all bitching and moaning? Like, bro, I do everything for y'all. And this is just to give him a break too from that. No?
Nah, I don't think so, bro. Like, cause
she gave him a hall pass.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, because
like the hall pass was given with the spec house, like you said. You said it earlier.
It was already there.
The hall pass was given with the spec house. There's an understanding about what we have going on moving forward. I don't think that takes away from the love that they have from each other, though. I don't think that she expects Tony to go out here and be wilding and fucking all the bitches at the Bing because I'm paying for the spec house or I'm doing these different things for Carmella. I think that she expects it to be a respectable outside life, but at the same time, they love each other. Like he would have stayed on that path of being dolo and farting in the room with Ari and hotboxing pizzas and shit. Like he would have stayed with that if he didn't love her. I think there is love there. I don't think it's just an agreement or an arrangement or anything like that. Like he truly loves her and she still loves him.
I mean,
doesn't that compromise?
Yeah, go ahead.
My fault, Mo. Real quick, doesn't that compromise the don't ask, don't tell thing? Her giving him like you would just think.
Yeah, like you
I
can't
know you're
tell
gonna do
me
this
when I
anyway.
can.
Well, what she's doing is this is why but what it is I'm not she's not really telling him. She kind of more so on the sense of I know you're going to do it, but I don't have nothing to offer you in return for what you just gave me with this 15,000. But let me still kind of be on some like, oh, you can do what boys do and stuff like it's the classic trope of the man buys this wonderful gift for his lady and his lady turns around and puts the bow on her body type thing to me. It's like, oh, I got something for you too. Like that type of
Pussy.
thing.
You talking about the pussy for Valentine's Day?
Pretty much.
Christmas?
That's what I'm getting at. It's that. It's obviously ladies that are listening. I know it's not everybody, but y'all know what I mean. Yeah, I know what I mean. Like there's ones like, oh, I'm gonna do that one thing that you really like. It's that type of thing. So her saying do what boys do, I think that's her like offering.
I think it's interesting. I didn't take it that way. I think it's interesting that you say that and process it that way. But I just didn't take it that way. I still think it's love and respect there, even with the sense of what we'll talk about later with him, what he did with the stripper. Like it's still I value what we're doing together. I don't think that there's not any value in what they're doing together.
I'm not saying that. I think in an agreement there's a value. That's why we agreed. But I still think that this is not.
Fair.
There's season 5 prior and season 5 after, and this is the after, where it's like, okay, we realize we work better together than separate, but I still think that it's a new territory for them because they once were in love and loved each other. Now it's like, okay, we love each other in the sense that we need each other, but we don't love each other in the sense that we want, like, you know what I mean? Whatever, like they had sex or whatever. Yeah. So anyway, but. Yeah, teachers on y'all. Y'all can email us and give us y'all take on that whole thing. But it's still crazy to say I should tell you that much more and not say I love you right there before the trip. Like that is nuts. Like, man. So Vito, we get a scene. Vito meets with his family, and this man is mad comfortable. Like he just really thought it was sweet. It's crazy. He's with his kids and pretty much they think he was out to Afghanistan, and we see his brother, and his brother got these goofy ass glasses on. Like, bro, like
that man said he was a spy in Afghanistan, bro. You know how crazy that, like, you 300 pounds, bro. Like, even with the weight loss, like, nigga, ain't no army. Like, even beyond that, because the kids don't know, but that lie is insane.
Yeah. That's not as bad as the blood pressure, but it's up there.
It lines up though. Like
it lines up.
This nigga, he's insane. Like the lies that this nigga come up with, like he's
in
crazy.
Jersey, knowing that there's
crazy.
There's people want to kill you, and you're in Jersey.
They're in New York right now though.
Oh, you're in New York. Okay.
Yeah, where they eating right now is in New York. Because you got the whole ice ring thing. That's a famous spot in New York.
He'd be out of his. Well, we already know he's out of his mind, but he'd be out of his mind to be in Jersey just chilling.
Yeah, that's definitely in New York.
So then that's a question.
I think that's a Rockefeller Center in New York, in Manhattan.
That's a dope scenery. The way it looks,
statue and stuff right there. Yeah.
And they're doing a lot of artsy stuff in this episode. I'm not going to elaborate on too much art stuff. We don't really do that here. So, but I do know that they're intentional with all of the art shots. We see this gold statue here and stuff and all that, but I'm not gonna do all that. But anyway, but yeah, pretty much the kids go out and skate, and then he has a conversation with Marie. Marie's fly, got the whole fur on with the fur hat and everything, and he grabs her hand. He's like, I'm thinking about we should have another kid.
Boy, that ain't the one.
Well, what you gonna do about this? What you gonna do about your other problem first, my nigga? How we gonna have another kid? You don't even want to have sex with her.
Niggas always jump to their kids to prove that
that's the light now.
Because you get them every time. Like, oh really? That's crazy.
Shout out to Dwight Howard.
Let me chill. I'm about to say, let me chill, man. Dwight just got a straight.
That was crazy.
Whoa. Ew. Ew.
What do y'all think Marie thought about this though?
She loves him though. Like that's why I think about it. We see Carmela and Tony, then we see Marie and Vito. Now I feel like her love for him is really love for him. versus Carmella. Like,
Nah, I would argue that. I think Carmella and Tony have a stronger bond than they do.
I don't know, bro. She been knowing this stuff for years. That's totally different.
Vito
Tony's
had
a
a
cheater,
full-on
and
boyfriend, bro. Like Vito back. Like he could have left all that behind and he's still calling dude.
what's that got to do with
I miss
Marito?
you. I miss you.
It has to do with he lying to her still, even though he think he can come back. He lying to her still like, oh, this ain't a problem. It was some medication, acting like, oh, we gonna have a baby together. Like Tony not doing that. Like Tony's not being that. He's not leading Carmella that much astray. Like Vito don't give two fucks. He's a straight sociopath. Like it's all about me. Tony is that way too, but he still love Carmella enough to be like, nah, I'm gonna be realistic now. You know what I'm saying? Like if we do the spec house, yeah, you got to ignore this. Like they're keeping their agreements up front enough to be, all right, I can be realistic with this person. If she listens to Vito right here, with Vito saying, oh, it's a medication and I don't need counseling, I want to have kids, she should be thinking, oh, he's not even a real person. Like the quote, the famous quote, like you just hit me with in a text. Are you not you're not even a person, bro. Because I know you gay. And you hitting me with all of this bullshit. Like, bro, I've been married to you for how many years? Like, so I think that the Tony and Carmella bond is a lot stronger than the Vito and his wife bond because Vito's still lying, thinking he can get this shit off. And that's Vito problem and what got him, as we'll get to it later in the episode, happened to him. Like, bro, you think you're smarter than everybody else around you, and that's just not true.
Well, his money. See, the thing is, his money does the talking for him.
And that's a great point.
That's why you can't
That's a fantastic point.
You come in talking like you're not Tony. You can't talk your way through. You don't have that type of stature. Your money is what gives you a little leeway because you're a good earner. But when you don't have nothing to offer,
and
then now you just another lying mobster, kind of like. So yeah, but that's interesting. We see Vito at the motel and he calls Johnny Cakes for the last time, and Johnny pretty much said he's done with him. They just told him straight up like you missed.
Why call him?
You said why?
Yeah, why call him?
Because Johnny Cakes knows the real him, and this is like the last moment of I won't say possibly the last moment of him. Possibly, we getting the last real version of Vito, I guess. And he had it. This is like his last opportunity to break bad, kind of.
Closure.
Yeah.
He might have felt that he owed Johnny Cakes that.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Good old Jimbo.
Post nut clarity. Post cheek clarity.
Post nut clarity is crazy.
Vito goes. Carmella. Carmella and Rosalie. We pretty much get them in there in the car. I don't have nothing else to add to that part.
I do.
Okay.
It shows that Tony's not tripping when he's like, man, you're doing too much. Like Rosalie was like, damn, calm down, Napoleon. Like, bro, like we're on vacation together.
Oh,
bro.
Rosalie is a champion on this episode.
Yeah, stop telling me what to do, bro. Like fucking relax. And I think that's the sentiment that Tony has a lot throughout the series. And we showed that it's not just with Tony, that's just Carmella's personality.
Yeah. Vito goes to the grocery store.
One of my favorite final scenes of all time.
I was going to say this is the one where Rich always quotes. Let me get that 20 racks off you, bro.
But the way he set it up was so smooth, bro. He's like, yeah, basically my baby mama, like my baby mama, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to jail if I don't pay what do you say, 10K, 20K and back?
Nah, 20 racks. 20 racks.
I'll pay 20 racks.
6 months in county.
He's like, man, I could really use that unless it's a bad time for you. And he's like, oh, no, it's not a bad. No, it's all good. He's trying to get back in again because Vito leads with his earning. That's where he works the best. Like he outside of the earning, and now he needs so much money for people to forget he's gay. But like he taps his arm.
That's funny. So much money for people.
Hey, bro, you forget they know. Like they know.
Hey. He tried to get that man a dap or a hug at the beginning. That nigga stuck his hand in his pocket.
Yeah, bro. Like
I don't know what you on, bro.
That man was smart to get that. That was one of the smartest dudes in this series. Get that bag off of him
20
real
racks,
quick.
buddy.
One of my favorite things about it is just that this is a, for lack of a better term, this is a nobody. We seen him in a couple scenes like with Benny and looking for Vito. Really no significant speaking lines. So for them to write this scene for him and it just be so classic because it is genius.
Yeah.
It is.
It's like, man, I know this nigga about to get up out of here. Let me see if I could borrow some bread from him. Like, because I
Let me
know
get
I ain't
these
never.
You
20
think
stacks
he didn't
off.
want to tell
This
him
is
New York? You think he
free
told
money.
New York? Like, so
No, I just
Told
think he
him what?
knew what time it was.
like Vito's in town.
I don't think he did. I think
Yep.
he just read the room. He just saw it.
Yeah,
Like even
I
if
think,
I
yeah.
have to make a payment or two to Vito, I'm never gonna have to pay this whole $20K back. I'm never gonna have to. Like there's
He ain't
no
gonna
way
be
they're gonna
around
let
long
Vito
enough
just
for this
rock.
to happen.
And you trying to get in everybody's good graces, man. What if I don't give you this bread back? Now what?
What
the
you
fuck
gonna
you
do?
gonna do?
Yeah.
What kind of
You
crew
feel
you
what I'm
got?
saying?
Who you gonna send after me? Like nobody don't even fuck with you.
Your
Right.
brother's over there.
Nah, yeah. Good luck. Good luck with your brother getting his 20 racks from me, man.
What's that supposed to be? We go to the
Genius,
next.
man. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it really is. That's just great soprano humor that they do well. Like they just do that well.
Mm-hmm.
And it lets you know if you're paying attention, he's about to be out of here. Vito.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they do a good job because I'm actually back in the day in real time. You think like, okay, there's a possibility Vito got some motion, something's gonna work, and just how quickly it's like, nope, like.
This is the scene. This is the scene. Like, oh, okay, nah, he finna kill him.
Well, no, not.
If we got this random dude asking for 20 racks, and I want 2% or 2.5. Oh, fine, yeah, that's cool. I'll take the 2.5. Like with no negotiation, yeah, it's over for you, bro. You're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tony and Phil meet about Vito, and tension is growing some more. Because he didn't take care of that for Noik, as they say it. They said it. I don't have nothing else to add. It's just building more tension. Of course,
I've done exactly what Tony did. Make it the fuck out my
yeah,
face,
bro.
man.
I'm not doing. He already did it before, bro. I'm not doing this with you. Like, there's no real grounds. We're just saying the mob bylaws. You know what I mean? So,
Hey, go get you some food because I hope you ain't come all the way over here just to talk to me because I'm walking out on your ass, bro. Go find something useful to do while you over here in Jersey.
Yeah, but Phil didn't let it ride though. Like that's,
This was a great scene.
Yeah, it was.
This is one of the most important scenes in this season and B as far as leading up to what we know moving forward. Like this was a wonderful scene. Like this is the episode where the seed was planted. Because when Tony turned around and walked away from him, it's like, okay, this ain't gonna be amicable. Like this will never be cool again. Like there's going to have to be a way that they figure this out, and it ain't gonna be sitting down and talking at the table because Tony don't respect him like that, and Phil don't respect him like that. This was an amazing scene as far as how I say that with not knowing going into it, but being someone who's seen all of it. Like this was one of the scenes, like one of the major seeds was planted. It's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah. We get Carmela and Rosalie. They're at the cafe in France, and they're trying to get their itinerary together. And Ro tells Carm to use that French that she said she took for 3 years, but she won't. But she said Tony knew like 6 words of Spanish in Miami, and he was Ricardo Montalban.
It ain't on you, it's in you, bro. I don't give a fuck how many years you took of French, bro. I'm with the people, man. I speak their language, even if it ain't their language. Like I can connect with them. I'm a people person. This is what I do. Carmela, you don't. You trying to get your shit out of book, nigga. Just live, observe.
Carmela just never had it. That's my issue. This whole thing. She just never had it. Like, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more.
A poser.
She's a poser, and she thinks. I'll wait. I want to get more into the Paris trip. I'll just wait till we get more into the Paris trip.
She had the flu when they were shooting this.
Wow. That's tough.
Could you imagine being in Paris having a flu?
Oh man.
And having to work? Like they had she had to redub. Like there were issues with I forget the actor who plays Ro. Like there were issues with her
Rosalie
not being
had the
able
flu?
to respond. No. Edie Falco had the flu.
Oh.
But there were issues with Rosalie's character being able to respond because she couldn't hear because she couldn't talk. She had to redo all her voices in like
post.
Yes, in post. I forget the technical term for it. Yes.
Post production.
Kind of crazy. Yes. post production, but when they do the loop, voice
Mhm.
loops. I don't know. Remember Billy Walsh did it with Vince and
Yeah.
Queens
Yep.
Boulevard.
Yeah, the voiceovers. Yeah.
Yeah, voiceover. Yeah, whatever they call it. Short. Yeah, all of that.
Wow, great and interesting fact. Man, that changes the whole dynamic of it.
It made it more interesting than it really was because I ain't find none of this shit interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
Like
Like,
what Rich told me was a lot more interesting than this shit
Yeah.
that actually played out on screen. Like I didn't give a fuck.
yeah,
I'm with y'all until they get to the scene where she crying towards the end of the episode.
Yep.
I
There's
still wasn't about it.
And the scene at the restaurant with her and Ro.
yeah, that one. Those two. Yep, those two. I think
Those are the two scenes that were
The
those
cab
were scenes
scene,
from the trip.
whichever one when she was like, "All right, Napoleon," that was the only one that did something for me.
Yeah, that's the one that's this one.
That's the one that just passed. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's some stuff now. It's just this is not like Commandatory. You know what I mean? Like when we got Commandatory, they were over in Italy, and we was like, okay, this is a little flip on the Sopranos, but it felt good and it felt like it had purpose. This doesn't feel that way, really. It's feel like we're gonna flex our budget a little bit. You know what I mean? Like that's it. It just feel like we're gonna flex our budget a little bit.
That makes sense.
And the Edie Falco deserves to, have this type of trip. Unfortunately, she was sick, as Rich told us, but she deserves to have this. So we're gonna write this into it. You know what I mean? So, but
yeah, that makes sense. To me, it felt like we have enough to keep people interested in the stuff that's happening in New Jersey. Because after this scene, we go right to another impactful scene. But we're trying to intertwine this Paris shit just to slow it down. So,
yep.
we're trying to do this just to make sure that it's doing what the Sopranos do. But like, I don't know what else they could have done in the New Jersey setting to make this episode be as long as it needed to be. But I feel like everything with Carmela and Ro was space filling.
Okay.
But it wasn't bad space filling because everything that happened in New Jersey with New York and the stuff that Tony had going on was great in this episode.
I like it. I think, yeah, you're right. It was definitely some filler. Tony and Seal, they talk about what to do with Vito, and Tony tells him to have Carlo do it since he, basically been wanting to do it. And Tony sees a dancer, and it sparks an idea.
How many times have you seen Tony this? You could tell this has been on his brain. This has been racking his brain for a while. Like the way he was speaking to Phil, I can't keep fighting Phil on this. Our business aren't. You got to pick it back. Like just the emphasis he had, his hand motion. It wasn't like a normal feet kicked up with the cigar. Like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. Now you could tell this has really been. He's probably been losing sleep over this because he doesn't want to do it, and he doesn't like the idea of Phil dictating what he needs to do. But he realized, like, man, I got to. Like, this is the only solution out of this. And why the fuck can't Vito just stay away?
Yeah. He's been in this scenario before with his cousin. So.
And I love Seal, man. Seal's a perfect number 2, bro.
He is. It's so interesting because he's so understanding, but he can go there real quick on the darkness. Like he can go dark real quick. But yeah.
If Vito wanted to pursue that lifestyle, he should have done so quietly.
Well, he did, didn't he?
He wasn't he?
Right. Like he was minding his business, dude.
How more quiet could he have been, bro? Like, wait, nigga had a wife and kids.
Yeah, that's funny.
Man. Nigga was trying to hit on your future son-in-law. Like, nigga, you ain't even have a clue.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's funny.
But Carmela and Ro, they do some more sightseeing. Y'all gonna get a lot of that in my descriptions. I ain't got nothing to add to that.
I don't think there's a lot to add to that. Like, this is, again, just a lot of filler with them two.
Yeah, just filler.
I didn't get it. If it wasn't filler and people they want to comment and come in and write it and say, I don't get what the whole, I didn't get this, none of the Carmela and Ro in France thing. I didn't get none of it.
I know that people that's gonna write in or hit us up, I get it. Like The Sopranos is a deep show. They're doing themes, and you got to watch it and pay attention to the art, the sculptures, the statues. There's themes, there's purpose in them. I get it, but we told y'all this is not that type of show. And to be honest, we don't care so much about that type of level of artsiness. We care more about the emotions and the connections and relationships amongst the characters that drive the plot. That's what we do here, and that's what we continue to do here. That's why we have such an issue with AJ. So anyway, Phil is with his wife, and he pretty much gets mad at the tailor because his pants are cut. I thought this was interesting because that's how we get our pants cut now. And it's crazy to even be back then where it's like your slacks are cut like that with the flood on it a little bit. And he was tripping about it, but it speaks to, like, obviously he's been gone for so long. That's the way they tailor him now. But yeah, he gets in the bed and his wife is just overbearing. She pretty much should say, like, you know, same thing. He got to go, like, so to speak, about Vito. His wife is just so unlikable.
But I think she was supposed to be. I like this scene because it just gives you another side of it. Like, it's not just, this is how this works. And this isn't even just a mob thing. This is everybody. When you got problems at home, look at Tony in the spec house. Or what we about to see with Aid. I mean, with her keep bringing up Aid in the future. Like, bro, I got to keep her occupied. Like, my peace at home, just the same thing Tony was talking about, man. Just one night, just one day I want to come in. When that starts getting disrupted because your wife is giving you subtle hints, you got to take care. That's part of the reason why Phil took action in his own hands. She pretty much, in her own way, saying, you a bitch.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's the symbolism. Speaking of before, he has his pants off. She has her pants on.
The symbolism is in your face this episode, especially
the
scene later on. Like,
I think that's a great point and a question that could be discussed more on like a back of the thing or something, like the women in the world of the Sopranos and how much they make things happen on the gangster end. Like, we look at like this right here, literally, like, this scene causes a whole war.
Yeah.
Like, this scene, this scene, like, spoiler alert, for New York and New Jersey, causes a whole war. And we've seen Tony's mom having conversations with Junior about racking Tony. We've seen Carmela have like gripes. Janice having gripes.
Richie.
And we see how the men process these conversations with these women in their lives that have nothing to do with the gangster world, but then they have to go out and then implement, like, just so, like what Rich said, just so I ain't got to go hear this shit at home, I got to do this shit in the world that I live in and hope that it flies or do whatever it needs to do to make sure that it works. But I think this a major theme of the show, like a major theme of the show, in a sense, like, you have women behind the scenes that are pulling these strings and how much it weighs into the gangster lifestyle. Well, it ain't just men having conversations, disagreements, or whatever it may be. It's like women, like, really pressing the issue.
Yeah, they definitely push the agenda forward.
Hey, Father said there's nothing gay about hell. That's good. I'm sure he didn't come up with that himself. Phil was over that shit, man.
Yeah. Like, he didn't want to hear none of that. But so I ain't got to hear none of this shit tomorrow when I go home. I need to find Vito. Hence the scene where we got the scene that we got a couple scenes ago where Tony meet with Phil. It's like, bro, my wife been bitching at me. He can't go say that, but that's what's really happening.
Vito has to be made to face his problem squarely. Yeah. That's her way of saying Phil's gotta go.
Phil's wife was the major reason of this whole shit happening. And then that hints to the war that we see in season B.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna say the wild shit I was gonna say, but let me just tone it down and say, Mo, I understand what you mean. She's very unlikable.
You was about to go there.
I was about to.
That's what you dwindle it down to. I know you about to go there.
Fuck it. We at the end, man. Fuck it. Why not? I was just gonna say, man, it would have been interesting to see her married to Richie Aprile.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you say that, because even with Richie and Ralph, it still had to do with the women. Like it was Janice, still not Ralph. Yeah,
Ralph
with Richie.
Too. In some way, not like indirectly, but Janice, but you know,
indirectly. You're right, but it's interesting. I think this scene, they play their hand like it's a major thing where you see, like, oh, like the women behind this, like, got a lot to do with the shit that happens. Even great point, great fucking point. The stuff that Melfi tells Tony, he go and implement that shit out in the field. A lot of this shit is us listening to women and being like, okay, this is what I need to do.
Yeah. Shout out to the women in the series, man. Come on now.
Women run the world, man.
They do.
Facts. They got the most powerful weapon in the world.
Boy, except for Carmella and Meadow.
And Meadow.
They probably like, y'all crazy. Y'all don't even know these characters. Like this is a through line on Good Earners.
Hey, we can tell. We can tell.
Oh, we can tell. Yeah.
Fictional, non-fiction.
It's pretty evident. It's pretty evident how it was written. We know.
Yes. But Carmella and Rose more sightseeing, and they at the church. Tony,
I think it's just important. It's important to point out that Rose
the candles,
2 candles.
That's
going to come back later.
Yeah, for sure. Tony's getting his joint copped, and man, you want to talk about acting at a high level. This is such a high level acting because all of the phases you go through in something like this, he nailed. It's and it's just facial acting, which is a hard thing to get accomplished. Like he's going from okay, I'm chilling, I'm enjoying it, to okay, we're at the finish, to the after finish where it's like awkward and I'm losing focus low key. Like the way he just acted that to me is like, I know this is not real, but golly, if it didn't seem like method acting, because goodness.
Did you ever think something else was going on? Like he was having one of the panic attacks or something like that in your first watch?
You know what? I think they were trying to give us that. I think they were trying to give us like that. You're right, because that is kind of the same eyes and kind of movement.
Because they ain't show us that. Yeah,
I'm gonna be real though. Like this is not that enjoyable. Like to me personally.
I mean, she might have had the mouth game.
No, I ain't saying she can do it. It's just
she might have had that guac 3000 on.
I mean, it's like, bro, I got to get to the destination. Like maybe let's park first. Like just, I mean, some people get off on it. I'm not mad at it. Just for me, it's in this experience, it's not that enjoyable. Like I might mess around. I might throw the whole whip out the like. I might throw the whole car away because you are taking my soul right now. I'm gonna throw my whole I'm throw everything away right now.
Roadhead dangerous, man.
That's what I'm saying. Let me park the car. Let me park, please.
I'd much rather pull over.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's not even. I can't. Yeah, it's a lot. But but yeah, shout out to the lady, man. She ain't charged Tony or nothing.
And, you don't have to do that, bitch. Come on with the money, man.
Yeah, stop playing.
He did have to.
Definitely got to do that, man, because I don't want you getting the wrong idea.
You have to do that, right?
This
exactly.
This is transaction.
No, I have to do this. This is a transaction.
You don't pay her to fuck you. You pay her to leave.
You pay her
to leave.
So, hey, good night.
Shout out to Victor Sweet. Only thing I want to say in addition to this is flashing back to when we first see him look at her at the Bing. I just thought about that scene with Artie. Artie was like, "See,
you could fuck her.
You could fuck her if you wanted to." And I'm thinking like that. Yeah, Tony didn't have to do much. Tony just sitting there having a drink and in his own world, give her some eye contact, and he knew. Like, all right, you need a ride? Bet. Say less.
Now this may not be true, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. Just like even I know this is not true. I'm just gonna say, money is so tight, and I'm so not trying to spend money. I know I'm gonna pay you. But I'm only gonna pay you for some head because I ain't about to pay you for the whole 6.
I don't think he needed to pay. I think that was like
he wanted. Yeah, I don't think he wanted the extra though.
Yeah, maybe not. He's still like in that preserve state.
Carmella gone. Yeah, Carmella gone. I'm just trying to get a little, like, to top me off, like here.
Neck dinner.
Yeah, I ain't trying to go through the whole thing.
So it'd be like that too. It'd be like that too, for sure.
And we ain't in nowhere where you gotta wait on you to leave. Like we already, I'm dropping
you off.
Perfect scenario. Cool, perfect scenario.
It go a couple years.
She said, "Vito told me."
Damn.
Speaking of Vito,
that's crazy.
Yo, relax.
That's crazy.
Vito taught me.
Vito taught me it's fucking crazy. Jesus,
isn't it erotic? If Vito calls Tony basically about the offer again. Whatever. So there's still contemplation going on there. Phil and Fat Dom and the other guy, once Vito gets to the hotel, they catch him, tape him up, and pretty much Phil comes out of the closet and they pretty much beat him to death. Now here's
one of the craziest things.
It is
the craziest symbolism ever. Like,
I've seen this. I've seen this before. I'm not gonna spend too much time because we already kind of been here a little long. But I've seen this for the longest. I definitely thought like, okay, Phil is possibly gay too. Like that is, I've said this in earlier reviews, but I had seen someone, shout out to, I believe it's Screen Rant. It's a YouTube that does Sopranos and some Wire stuff as well. I watched a video on his different take on it, like outside of that, and when I respected where he was coming from. It kind of changed my mind on it too, because I definitely thought something else, and I was like, okay, maybe he's that, but he's from the old school, so no matter what, even if that is my urge now, I'm not getting down that way. But I look at it differently now. So, what did y'all take from this scene?
You gotta be a psychopath to watch a man get beat to death. It's one thing to get shot.
Oh,
It's even a whole other thing to see somebody get stabbed, but to watch him sit on the edge of the bed and just watch this man get beat to death,
Lifeless.
You a psycho.
Rich, even beyond that, to hide in the closet where it's two niggas out here obviously finna beat your ass, and like I'm hiding in the closet and I'm not even about to do nothing. The symbolism that speaks to, as far as what you said, Mo, it was a little bit overhanded.
Yeah,
Because
that's
like
what
A
it
lot of
wouldn't
it.
happen. Yeah, like
It was a lot of it.
that just wouldn't happen. If y'all already out here and y'all finna beat this nigga ass, there's no reason at all for Phil to be hiding in the closet other than for the symbolism of the show and the stuff that we see on screen. So I thought that was crazy, but also to your point, Mo, about Phil being maybe kind of on the fence
Mm-hmm.
and wanting this justice to be, because he felt the same way that Vito felt and he wasn't able to act on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some truth to that with the jail stuff and all the underlying stuff they've been saying and dropping throughout this season. Like, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
It's good. It's good to be amongst men.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, whose idea was it to stick the pool cue up his ass? That's my question.
Phil.
Were you there for that? Like,
That was definitely Phil out there.
Like to me, it's like that's just an overkill.
Coming out of the closet was some of the craziest shit. That's one of the craziest scenes on this show.
Sticking a pool cue up his ass is.
I think a day
where
there
was
Friday
the
after next,
puke
man.
cue?
Stick a plunger up his ass.
Where did you have a like you had to think of that going
This
into
is what
it.
I'm.
Let me grab.
Listen, I got to take your belt off
here.
and start undressing you to get my gesture off for the news. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you know how many steps go to before, like, bruh, I'm not going to even give the whole depiction, but y'all put it together.
And there had to be some symbolism about Phil like grazing his hand.
Well, that's a part
how
of
he
like,
was clutching.
But a part of it could be too, like what the guy was saying in the video, if he listens to his pod, but like what he was saying in the video, like we always think that like there's this like subtle turn on because he's like that or whatever. But the dude in the video was just saying like it was brutal, and Phil is not the same Phil he was 20 years ago before he went in the can. Like it was hard for him to watch this. So that was his kind of struggle without showing it on his face. Because you think about how he deals with it later in the scene with the brother-in-law thing. Like it's this weird thing of like, it does seem like he's kind of got a little bit of sentimentalness to it, like more than you expect. It's like you called the hit, but you gotta. Anyway, I'll speak to it a little bit more there. I don't want to prolong it. I know we got to get moving, but
yeah.
Well, yeah, Fat Dom is here too, so that's a notable thing. He took mad pleasure into doing this. Carmela takes a picture of a pig, and we go to the scene of Satrial's. Obviously, Satrial's got a pig logo, and then Murmur is making a pig joke, and we get to reveal that Vito's been killed, and Carlo is just the worst. Like, God, he's the worst. He's like, hey, you gotta, my nigga. Like, yeah, Carlo would have got whacked, bro. Like, he would have got choked out like Febby somewhere.
But that just lets you know. But that just shows you what happens when you don't make swift and action moves as a boss. You open the door for this type of treatment. Yeah, now we're starting to lose respect. You see how Phil's treating Johnny?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The same thing, bro. You should have been taking care of this. Now you even brought to us talking about, well, maybe you can be an AC. Like, nah, bro. You got to admire the guy. Bro, shut up. Read the room. Have some discernment.
Yeah.
Save that shit for a Patsy when y'all out somewhere. When y'all next time y'all at the Suvios. Don't say that shit in front of Tony right here.
Yeah. I wish I would have borrowed some money from Vito.
Classic. the grin on his face.
Yeah.
Like, I beat all y'all to the punch.
And I ain't kicking up because y'all don't know I did it. But they did an excellent job just slowing the build towards New York versus New Jersey. Carmella calls Tony and tells him about the views, and he's constantly making French jokes. How's the French toast? How's the French fries? He goes and tells her that he got AJ to clean the trash cans, so or clean the trash. So like I said, basically he took a bath. And Tony and Sil talk about Phil, and Tony isn't letting it ride. Like, he's just not wanting to go for it. Anything I want to add to this whole scene?
The most important thing was when he talked to Phil out front, or when he talked to Sil out front. Mm-hmm. Just once again, that indicator, listen, shit about to hit the fan.
Yeah. Tony sees AJ laughing with his shirt off in the computer with the sack of shit look on his face. Man, this face, like, he's so disgusted, man. Like,
I hate this nigga. I hate this motherfucker. Like, that's what he was thinking.
Face,
that's what Tony was thinking. I hate this nigga.
I could really do something to him right now.
And nobody would know. I could say it was an accident.
Yeah. I
could really get AJ up out of here.
Yeah.
And I want to.
Yeah.
I want to really do it too, though.
Rosalie is getting with this French guy, getting this French guy's number, and Carmella's being the biggest hater. And she asks, how you gonna get with him? He's 26 years old, and she's like, basically, like, bro, that's the point.
Rosalie, that's the point. Like, what are we talking about?
Point, like, and Rosalie be the one to hang though. Like, I feel like she'd be kind of like hanging a little bit. Like, she a little older.
Yeah, she get down.
Yeah, she should hang.
Yeah, she get down.
Yeah, I'd have get Rosalie a ride home from the Bing.
Facts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rosalie one of the ones where you look after the transaction, you looking at.
You'll be surprised.
Like, oh wow, I didn't know.
Great way to put it, Mo. After the transaction, you're like, oh shit, I didn't even know you got down like that. God damn.
I was looking.
Hey, Rosalie.
Yeah, you didn't exactly. All right, girl. All right.
That's one of them ones. You
like, Rosalie. Hey, nah, you know who really? It's Ro though, bro. Ro.
Yeah, let me say your number in here.
Yeah, bro. No mid over there. No mid over there. Like,
no mid over there, bro.
No mid over there. I promise. But yeah. Yeah, Carmella, just being annoying on this trip. This is where she cries, right? Sometimes it feels. She says sometimes it feels like that's all we do is basically
when they outside.
And said, but in the end, it just gets washed away.
That's a bar.
Okay, what did you take? I feel like you were alluding to this in an earlier when we speaking earlier.
Nothing overly significant. It's just one of those good reminders because she's right. Like, we live this life. We only get one. We know we only get one. And a lot of us, especially as adults, spend our time worrying about shit that we can't even control. Mm. And at the end of the day, none of it matters. Like, I always say the example, like 10 years ago, I'm sure there was something I was fucking stressing the fuck out about. And I couldn't even tell you what it was right now. Couldn't even try to think to imagine what it could have been. But at one point in time, it was like the biggest thing to me. I was probably stressing. And it don't matter. None of this matters. We all gonna be gone. It's all gonna wash away. Live your life and move on from there. I just thought it was a nice way to put it. And it's funny that when they first walk inside after she get the number, those like faces or those heads, they remind me of Game of Thrones.
The many-faced guy?
It did.
Yeah, the many-faced guy.
Mario is it?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's the pod right there, the many-faced pod.
Niggas on the throne.
Niggas on the throne.
Hey, y'all need to go ahead.
You're not getting away from it.
Put an Indeed app out there. Y'all need to find y'all third host because I'm not a nigga. Like Dave
You
Chappelle
must-
said.
You must be somebody's nigga with that nigga tie on, with that nigga suit on. Yeah.
Okay, you're not a nigga.
I'm Mr. Nigga.
Yeah, Mr. Yeah, you
That's
you
fine.
definitely Mr. Nigga. 100%. You Mr. Nigga.
Definitely are. You got the tent to match the back screen and the tie and all that.
That's so
shit. You
stupid,
Mr.
bro.
Nigga, bro.
Yeah, we not doing that. That's not the name of the pod, bro. I'm not gonna.
It won't be the official name, but
That's
it's
your
gonna be the
slogan
name.
for it.
That's the sentiment.
It's gonna be the slogan,
That's
like
the
niggas on the
sentiment.
throne.
Yeah.
Like
That's
people
the
are gonna know it
sentiment.
as niggas on the throne, and no matter what we call it.
Yeah.
Like
So
we gonna
people
make
hit
it
us
to the
with
point where
the ninjas on throne.
You can call it whatever you want, but it's gonna come off like that. Niggas on the throne.
AKA niggas on the throne.
Yes.
So is it yeah. What y'all think about that mini face pod?
cool.
No.
Not like
AKA
officially, but is it good or not?
AKA niggas on the throne.
Oh my god! All right, these guys, we got a lot of work to do, y'all. Keep on emailing us. We need you.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's I think this is this where she speaks to Tony had said, "Who am I? Where am I going?" Is this what she spoke to that? She feels the same way, Ben. Okay, that's good stuff. Like I don't. That is one of the me and Rick aligned in the sense that those are the two things. This scene and then the later scene of the Carmela storyline. Like, who am I? Where am I going? That is a great question, and that is a question that is a constant ask when you have one life and how you consider things. The thing that I do a lot is when you're driving past grave sites or you see tombstones, I think about this all the time. The fact that like, yo, all these people like living regular lives. That do you see these tombstones? They were living regular lives like us, and they were looking at somebody else's tombstone. It's like, dang, man, that's crazy. And now they're in the tombstone. I'm looking at their tombstone, and at some point, I will be in the tombstone.
Hey,
bro,
you cooking right now, but I'm about to hit you with a roll, man. It's fucking morbid, man. Chill.
Eat your money cut. Freaking nosy. All right.
You cooking though. You cooking, Mo. I ain't gonna hold you. You cooking.
Yeah, but like, I feel you. They ain't get too morbid here. But
but I'm thinking like, damn, man, everybody looked at tools somehow. Now I'm about to like, damn, man. Shit.
Yeah, you don't even want to look at it now. It's like, damn. It's a hard reality. And Sopranos does a great job dealing with mortality. And I think that's what they were trying to get across. I don't know if the execution was there fully. I mean, let me say this. The execution could have been there, but it's like it's probably built around the art's symbolism as far as what they were letting us see, what she was seeing. And if you're not going to look these things up in France, to see what these mean, then it won't register. So I'm sure if we looked it up, it will register more.
For me, the thing here was this, Mo. We spent a lot of this season dragging our feet with storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And now we finally have a good storyline with Phil, what he's reacting to with John's situation, how him and Tony are reacting. Vito is back in town. There are a lot of good storylines that are going on. And then you ship us over to fucking Paris with Carmela, and we don't give a fuck. I could care less about the symbolism, anything that she's none of that matters. But again, that's what make this show great, because all of the character development is something that we're invested in as fans. So I can understand where some people would be like, I don't fuck with this. But I could also understand where us three sitting here reviewing it be like, yeah, that ain't cool, that ain't shit, but there's a lot of things going on over on this other end that keep you interested in it. And I think they did a great job with that of this episode.
Yeah, I agree. Phil consoles with Marie about Vito's death, and Phil got his bishop from Juice on here.
Great analogy. Sopranos funny as hell, man.
Yeah,
like Sopranos is like when they say we don't know if it's a drama or comedy. It's a little small shit like this. The fact that they play that on TV, that nigga feels, hey, turn that off, man.
Hey man,
said, I loved him like a brother-in-law.
Hey, the bodybuilder shit playing was fucking hilarious.
And Bill was into it though. That's what made it funny. It's like, he was in, like he let it rock.
Like
Like,
Vito be playing this all the time. Like it's saved on the memory of the TV.
this where you could lean into the possibility that, okay, maybe
Damn.
Phil is gay, and it's like he's trying to filter out triggers, like seeing these muscular men, like, hey, turn that off, like, any of that, like, or let me go extra hard about anything that's remotely looked at as not hetero. Like it could be like there's a case to be made. Obviously, this was one of those moments. Like,
Mo, you was right. Dude was definitely into
he was
it.
he
Too,
let
though.
it he let it
Dude
rock for a
was
second.
watching it.
Like, how
Dude
you
was
flipping through
watching that
channels
shit like
and
it
you
was
like,
an NFL playoff game. Like he was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, what we got going on, Mr. Wonderful, right here?
and it got the crazy music with it, like,
Oh shit, that's
yeah,
funny.
Hey, Phil was like, turn that off, man.
turn that off, bro.
That shit have you weak. That shit's hilarious. That's
Yeah.
That's
funny
one
to
of
me.
the funniest scenes. Yeah, it's funny.
Always, I've memed that a few times, like, but yeah, pretty much. Then the wife switches over and says that the tailor is going blind, and I don't know, maybe she's trying to get off the subject. I don't know. I didn't care.
Nah, what a piece of shit performance by the wife.
Boy,
To take this from Vito is dead because she felt the way that she felt about Vito and his lifestyle. I'm gonna turn this into, oh, my tailor is going blind, and cry about it and hope people feel sorry for me. Like it was disgusting. This was
yeah,
Livia Soprano type disgusting. Like this was on that level.
yeah, it was. Yeah, you know, I wish the Lord would take me. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
that's definitely that. Like, it was all that. Like, it's all a big
Like
nothing.
the woman, to the point that the woman that was grieving her husband dying had to console her about her tailor being blind, bro. What the fuck are we doing?
It's crazy. It's literally the Jerry Seinfeld. That's a shame.
Straight up.
That's a shame. But we go to Tony and Melfi, and Tony, he reveals that he hate his son after he's been silent pretty much the
I
whole
hate that nigga.
the session. He's like, man, I hate the son.
I hate that nigga.
I hate
Tony,
the way that he walked, the way that he talked. I hate the way that he dressed. Nigga, I hate that nigga for real.
Yeah. Oh man. The Tony says that he should have whooped AJ's ass, but Carmella hadn't let him, and I agree. But Melfi drops the bar and says that Carmella is protecting her son from his father, which is what you wish your mother would have done. So again, it's that damned if you do, damned if you don't concept in this world. Anything I want to add to this session?
Melfi was cooking.
Yeah.
Facts.
Melfi couldn't wait. That was easy work for her.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the best sessions out of the series that they had.
Definitely season 6 for sure.
Yeah.
Wasting his time in some chit chat room, going back and forth with some other fucking jerk off.
I mean, seriously.
That look of disgust when Tony
giggling like a schoolgirl.
When Tony came out of his room to look in AJ, giggling, laughing, that look of disgust James Gandolfini had, man, was chef's kiss, man. It was priceless. Because it really looked like, man, I could really toss this nigga out the window and make it seem like an accident.
I want to.
Right, for real.
And I want to.
He really had to get there. Like, I'd imagine, he's known to have had rocks in his shoes for like scenes where he get really mad. Jimmy James Gandolfini, rest in peace. So I imagine maybe even in this scene, he may have still had the rocks in his shoes. If y'all know anything, hit us up. But maybe he had the rocks in his shoes, but it wasn't something he could project. So he can internally feel that pain of being angry and getting there and being mad. So even in this scene, like his face, his frustration, his anger from the rocks in his shoes can bring all that out in his face. If he did that, that'd be like, that's a whole nother level, bro. Like, when you hit your foot or your knee and it hurts so bad and you're so mad that you hit it that you don't even say nothing. You just breathe hard and look mad, really angry. Like, it was like that type of thing, dude.
And I'm just genuinely fascinated with that whole concept of, I'm sure I've said it on this podcast before. I know I said it. Like, you don't know what kind of kids you're going to get.
Yep.
Right? You hope for the best. You can do your best to raise them right, but you have no idea what kind of path they're going to lead and all that stuff. So I'm sure there are parents who genuinely feel that same way. Maybe not to a degree of hate, but like, I really don't like this motherfucker.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's parents that look at their kids like, I do not like this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Like, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I just seen a clip. Speaking of Jersey, I just seen a clip of one of those like street reporters asking a Jets fan at a tailgate, like, what would you do for a Jets Super Bowl? And he was like, I would give up my second born son. And they were like, not your first one? He was like, nah, I really like my first one. But the second one, like it was just funny because
Y'all can
he
take
meant
this
that
one.
shit. He meant that shit.
That
Like
is
he really meant that
crazy.
shit.
That's funny.
Wow.
So I'm sure that's a big wide thing. I'm sure people look at
No,
their
it's
kids
a
like,
real thing.
nigga, I don't
You
like you.
come to realization like,
Hey, I love you. I fuck with you. I'll do whatever for
But
you,
I
but I
don't
do
like
not
you.
like you.
yeah. Like, if you didn't come around as much, I wouldn't be mad. We get to Ro and Carm. They go to eat, and Carm is really thinking about mortality a lot, and she really brings the mood down when she brings up Jackie Jr. And she just like, we never talked about it before, and feels the need to bring this moment up, and she wants to be there for her. And Rose is like, bro,
Bring this shit up at Vesuvio's. Like, we in Paris.
that's crazy.
Yeah, stop playing with
And
me.
how long? Hey, time out. Just think about it from this perspective. That was season 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yep.
Stop playing with me.
So we're
Like
looking
you,
at
you
4
see me
years
over
ago.
here enjoying myself, talking to the young dudes, all of this stuff, and you playing with me in the sense of I want to bring up the worst thing that ever fucking happened to you as a mother in your life. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, nah,
Before eating.
yeah,
My
that's
appetite would have been gone,
crazy.
like for sure. I wouldn't even been able
Exactly.
to eat. Like, yeah, she just
It speaks to Carmela's character though.
yeah, it does. Well, I guess I say it here because they're getting ready to come back. It's just the phoniness of Carmela, where it's like she's looking at the art and she's just happy and she wants to see that, and she's been this way. It's like you just it's just the way she carries it. I don't know if it's intentional or not by Edie Falco, but it's like it's the way you carry it. Like you're here on like some corporate above board. Like I made this and earned this, and I'm saying she earned it in the sense that in the mob way, but she hasn't earned this in the everyday human. So it's like the way she just walking around lollygagging and appreciating art and taking pictures and stuff, and she just it seemed like the only realization that she recognizes is like who Tony is. But outside of that, she just lives in a lie. And maybe all these
Carmela?
characters live in a lie. Yeah, it's just she
That's
carries this a certain way where it's like
You're right. I think you have a good point in saying that. I think the expectations also from Ro were like, we're away. We're not around all the stuff that we're used to dealing with. Her, Jackie Aprile, Carmela Tony. Why are you bringing this situation down? Like she told her in the conversation, we're on vacation. We're having a beautiful dinner, and you asking me about my son that got murdered. I don't know. I don't even really truly know what happened. I got some kind of ex. I know kind of what happened, but I really don't, just because of the life that we've engaged into. And you still making it about that versus us just being here having dinners together. And I think Ro was super like, bro, you
And,
killing the vibe.
yeah.
and your apology was so disingenuous. You're right. I
Yeah, like you
apologize. I
ain't.
apologize. Like, man, shut up.
This is my dead son you bringing up. Like, what we talking about?
Yeah, that's
You
crazy.
didn't even have to bring up this situation.
You still
And
have
I
your
think
son and your husband. I don't have either.
facts. Good point, Mo. And I think that's the thing that pissed Ro off the most. Like, bro, I came over here with you to have a good time, and
Kicking it.
you purposely trying to bring me down. Like you purposely going out of your way to talk about shit that I don't want to talk about. And it goes to Carmela's like whole persona from this show. Like, you don't get it.
Ungrateful.
You don't read the
Ungrateful.
room. You're not grateful enough. Like Ro is a great friend to you.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't done nothing but be good to you all through all these episodes and series that we've seen. She's only been good to you, and you still trying to find a way to be like, oh well, I'm Carmela Soprano and I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
And Ro was like, fuck that shit. Nah, I ain't
Ro was
like,
keeping it real. She was a homegirl
I'll
in
fuck
this
with Ro
episode.
for this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that she was keeping it a beam.
facts.
But yeah, she invites her to go out with her, but Ro was just doing a nice thing, but Ro about to get her potatoes mashed by that 26
She
year
finna
old.
go. She's straight going to the 26-year-old. Bitch, I'm going to my room. I'll holler
Yeah.
at you tomorrow morning.
She
And
about
she's
to
straight in dude up.
she about to find out about that French toast stick.
Let Carmella sit in the room and call Tony, whatever the fuck she want to do, bitch. I'm gonna get active.
Yeah, watch this. Oh man, y'all know we crazy. All right, let me try to land this plane here.
We gotta do it after this scene, though.
Okay,
We gotta talk about this scene.
All right, yeah, because everything else kind of rolls. So Fat Dom pulls up. He's bringing over an envelope.
Fat Dom will play no game.
Fat Dom is
He couldn't
wild.
wait. Fat Dom couldn't wait.
Fat Dom is getting
Fat Dom live for this shit.
Yeah, Fat Dom was getting it. He even let it breathe. Like, you should have been gone, and he just kind of lets it breathe. But anyway, so Fat Dom, he's getting the jokes off, and he's like, "Oh, Carlo, I found Carlo's, lipstick or his handkerchief had, one in his back pocket," and he's like, "Hey man, that one homo from Hollywood, he's doing this." And then Seal is like keeping it calm. He's like, "Hey, you up on this shit, huh, Dom?"
Yeah, you really up on this, huh, Dom? Like,
yeah,
that's how you spin it back. I feel like that's something you would have said.
Oh, definitely. Like, oh man, you really locked in, huh? Like you. Oh, you. Yeah, I would definitely done that. And Carlo's like,
I never would have known that, but I'm glad you did your research. Like, that's something I could see you saying that.
Absolutely. It's like, boy, like, man, what's? Let me check your feed, man. Let me check your history, man.
Very funny, Dom. Very cute.
Very funny.
I don't quite get it.
Very cute.
I don't quite get it, but cute.
They try to hold.
Like, I know you're trying to be fine. I know you're trying to play in my face.
Yeah, and they're still keeping it cool, but Carlo's like trying to manage it. But he threw Carlo in two of the jokes, and it was bound to happen. But even though he let it breathe, which was the craziest thing. Like, he wasn't getting the reaction he was looking for. And so Seal said, "Man, pump this." What did he hit this nigga over the head with, bro? What was that?
The vacuum. So he had the mini vac, the handheld vac. That man had the handheld vac and smacked him with it. That's how you know you mad. Like, whatever I got in my hand, I'm about to hit you with it, bro.
Jersey been going through it, bro. And like, since you come over and rubbing it in like that, them niggas, like, that was crazy. Smacked him over the head.
That's like in Soul Food. When my man's like, let him know, like, I got you this job, right?
Cola.
Just that kind of like, I can't say it, but I'm holding it over your head. It's like a dirty nigga like fucking somebody chick. And then they hang around that nigga. Like, just kind of like, yeah, he can't say it, but indicating, cola? Yeah, cola? Like, come on, man. Stop fucking playing with me. That's my wife. You call her cola?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was the same
shit.
Of my
wife?
Dom was on this, and he didn't think it was gonna get on that.
Yeah, that's crazy. You come over there joking, you end dead, dude. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, you end up dead. You end up dead, man.
Yeah, Tony pulls up and he sees that Fat Dom has been whacked, and he rides off. And that facial expression he had, did he know? Yeah, did he know that? Okay, the war
I ain't got nothing to do with this. Yes.
Okay, because his face.
I know what this means. I know who Fat Dom is. I know what he means to New York. I know what it means if he come over here and he disappear. I ain't got nothing to do with this. That's a boss move. That's a real boss move by Tony, in the sense of like, bro, like, I can't
send my well wishes to Gab. Hope she's over the flu.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about. And I love Seal, like, that's right. You don't know nothing.
Right. Yep.
But I respect how
remember he told. I was gonna say real quick. Remember he told Scylla Satriels when he said, like, you know what this means? Like, he told him, like, we can't do that. Remember, there was a war when they hit such and such, man. They war for 7 years.
Did the mattress for this long, yeah.
So he knew exactly what was gonna happen. Like, bro, this is exactly what I didn't want to happen. And Seal technically didn't tell him to kill him. That nigga grabbed that knife and said, "You know what? Fuck you."
Yeah. Yeah.
But Fat Dom asked for it though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he asked for that. Like,
he put Carlo in two of them jokes like that.
To quote,
but it went to the sense of when they talk about the Sopranos being a crew, an over.
Yeah, the glorified crew.
A glorified crew. Like, this speaks to the sense of, like, I ain't going over here with no respect. I'm going up here to pick up an envelope. I know that y'all, I know what's going on, and y'all can't do shit about me making these jokes. He looked at them like a glorified crew, at that point. And that's what got him killed.
To quote Spike Lee, man, Dom, that fat meat wasn't greasy.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure
like, you came over here playing. Now you dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit that's gonna come from this, but still you dead, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna put all these last scenes together for the sake of time. Tony talks to AJ after watching his friends just lax on his couch, and pretty much bangs up his car and tell him, "Don't put me to the test." We see Adriana and there's a Carmela dream, but also we see Phil Leotardo is up. Ro and Carm prepare to leave Paris. Carmela makes it home. Ro makes it home, and they get ready to talk about their trip, but it's cut short. And Vito Jr. reads the newspaper about their dad being gay. So out of these last few scenes, with the AJ scene, the Rosalie and Carmela leaving in the dream, and Phil being awake, and then obviously the Vito Jr. reading the paper, what were your takes on these last few scenes?
Therapy
Another
works.
one.
Therapy works. Because if I was Tony and I walked in our crib, I got this random chick with her bare feet on my table. Y'all taking shots. Her nine, who I don't like, is chilling. Like for him to be so smooth, hit him with let me talk to you in the garage real quick. And the calmness of it. Sometimes that's more scary when the nigga's calm and hit you with the shit, and I'm dead serious. Like, what do you tell him? Like, don't test me.
Don't put me to the test.
Don't put me to the test. Like, and I'm gonna walk away, and that's it. I'm gonna take this helmet.
With the
I'm gonna
soft
smash
pat.
your shit.
The soft pat.
Yeah, and low key, I'm coming to help you out. You can keep every dollar you make. We ain't gonna charge you rent. I'm telling you right now. Like, I promise you, this is the last time. If you're not there, I might cause physical harm to you because I really don't like you, bro. Yeah. This is the last straw, and I'm trying to tell you in the most calm way possible. Because after this, it's hands.
Hands on your knees.
I agree with what Rich was saying, and the fact that he was like, bro, I'm letting you know this in the very most calm way possible. I ain't putting hands on you. I ain't doing like my dad did me. I'm letting you know based off the shit that I got from Melfi that this is the way that I need to communicate with you for you to truly understand. I will fuck you up. Like, bro, I done laid everything out for you. I got a great job for you. People will kill for this job. I will fuck you up.
Yeah.
And if you fuck this up, then that's what's gonna happen. This is one of my favorite scenes of the series. I love how he handled AJ in this scene. I wish we had seen more of that throughout the series. But this was one of the most perfect scenes when he bashed out. He took the helmet and bashed out the license. The front plate of the truck. Like all that shit was great.
Yeah. Look at AJ's face during the scene. Like when Tony says, like, I'm gonna take AJ. No, not even that. Before he hits the window. Yeah, he sounded like, oh yeah, I heard this all before.
Whatever.
Like, I promise you it's different this time.
Facts.
I promise,
I'm
my
not
nigga.
playing with you, bro.
Because if you knew what was in my head right now, if you didn't know how many times I thought about killing you this week alone, then you would not be giving me this look. You would not have this look on your face. You would take me much more seriously.
Yeah. My only last question, y'all, before we get out of here, because the Carmela seeing Adriana, of course, and then the Phil staying up, whatever. The only thing I wanted to ask you, why do y'all think Rosalie and Carmela's description of the trip was cut short? That obviously is intentional. When they did the scene, it's like, oh, it was wonderful, and they just cut to the next scene and with Ro, and then cut it again.
I don't know if I looked at anything in particular about it. It's just kind of what it is. Like, you back home, kind of, and I think it goes into the scene when Carmela was talking about, like, it doesn't matter whether we see it or not. Like, nigga, life goes on whether you there or not. You know what I'm saying? That conversation was had whether we were there to witness or not.
Yeah.
After we press end on this recording, y'all gonna do what y'all thing. I have no idea what y'all doing, but I know y'all doing it. So it don't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. The Phil Leotardo, so do y'all think he feels bad at all killing Vito?
I always took that as he was thinking about Fat Dom. Forget about Fat Dom.
So he knows.
Went over to Jersey and never came back.
Yeah, he never came back.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been trying to hit this nigga up all day. Because remember, as soon as they stabbed this nigga, that nigga phone was ringing.
And you are a glorified crew. Like, you can't do this to my guys.
And I know, and think about it like this. I know what I did to Vito. And I know they can't react to it. Right?
And if you do, I'm waging war against y'all niggas. And y'all can't handle it.
And Dom went with an envelope. It wasn't like Dom was just in Jersey randomly. and stop
Facts.
by. I know Dom went over there, and I know I can't get a hold of Dom now. And I know more than likely I'm probably never gonna see Dom again. So
Yeah.
how am I gonna handle this shit? I think all of that was on his mind.
Okay.
Yep.
It's similar to Tony's driving scene.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but before we get out of here, y'all, we like to do a episode ranking. So without further ado, Spike Lou, how do you rank this episode? Just another envelope, a good earner, or a made episode?
This is a good earner episode. There were a lot of seeds planted in this episode going into the next series of season 6. So I look, yeah. As I was watching this again, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is now some action. We've been complaining a lot about the other episodes. There was no action. Now there's some action and some real stakes that being caught.
Fair enough. Rich.
Is this a made episode?
Too much Carmella.
I feel like I want it to be made. It has made moments, but it's not a made episode.
It does absolutely has made moments.
That's why I got me to go.
Yeah, it's a good earner. Like in my head, I want to make it a made episode, but it's just not. But definitely a good earner.
It's close. It's close to made though.
For me, this was close to just another envelope. What pushed it really was just the memorable moments, because it was the whole Carmella panning over there. It was just like it felt like filler every time I've seen this, and that takes away, that sucks the juice out of the episode, like the entertainment quality of it. And so, but what made it good earner is just all of the Vito stuff, bro. Like that stuff was so freaking funny, bro.
So what'd you rank it?
Good earner. It's a good earner for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just slightly above just another envelope. Spike Lou, who gets a good earner chain?
The good earner chain for this episode, I gotta give it to Phil, man. He had a mission. He did what he needed to do, and he got out of there. And nobody could hold him accountable for it. Like y'all can't fuck with me. I'm King Kong. I'm Denzel in Training Day. Like nigga, you gonna be whatever many hours at Pelican Bay, nigga. This is it. That's it. Phil was doing that this episode. Yeah.
Okay. Rich, who gets a good earner chain?
I'm gonna give it to Melfi.
That's good.
I'm gonna give it to Melfi, man, because she for years, she even mentioned it in the scene. Like we've been dancing around this for years.
And
I've been sitting on this information. I just want to let you know, like, all right, you don't want to talk about that, but let me observe this. You know what I mean? Like, and just kind of hit him with the information, and that's what led directly to Tony's reaction when he talked to AJ in the garage, because he wanted to pound his face in.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Melfi's right. I'm not gonna do what my dad did to me. I'm gonna tell you I love you.
I'm tell you,
I want to see you do it good. Like all of that. Tony did not want to do that, but he's listening to the therapy. I'm gonna give it to Melfi because Melfi saved AJ ass.
Fair. I gotta go Rosalie.
I'm sorry. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. My nigga who borrowed the 20K is a good earner. My nigga who borrowed the 20K
do that.
I'm tripping.
Honorable mention at least.
I wish you know his name.
No, he wins. Melfi's honorable mention. I forget his name off rip.
Okay, I don't know what to put.
Go ahead. I'm gonna figure it out before the episode ends. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm just gonna put guy that borrows money.
Sure, I'll tell you here in a second.
Okay. For me, Rosalie though. Rosalie was keeping it a bean. She was the home girl out in Paris. You gotta love it. Like she was doing her thizzle. She was sleeping when she was sleepy, but she was getting fly, getting her glove, trying to find her glove, eating good, chilling. Like she was so Jersey out in Paris. You know what I mean? And I just liked it. I mean, she was about to hook up with a 26-year-old. Like she out there having a good time. You know what I mean?
I like that. That's a good pick. I love the person that can be like, hey man, relax, nigga.
Yeah.
You doing like what she was trying to tell Carmella the whole time, like, relax, bro. Relax. Like we ain't in Jersey, bro. Like you can take a step back. It ain't gotta be that serious.
Yeah, relax.
I agree with you, Mo.
Terry is his name, Mo.
Terry.
What's his name?
Terry. The dude that borrowed the 20K.
Yeah, you're right. No, there you go. Because he ain't gonna we'll never get another chain. So Broken Balls, Spike Lou. Who gets a Broken Balls award?
The Broken Balls award for this episode, AJ. Very rarely do I agree with AJ, but that first scene that we had with him, and I told y'all as we talked through the shit that got him fired from Blockbuster, I think AJ got a point, man. Like y'all meet me where I'm at, and then help me from there. Don't expect me to exceed these levels of expectations y'all
So he
have for
get
me.
broken balls for
Yeah,
doing. That's a
he get
bad
broken
thing.
by. Yeah, it's a bad thing because he wasn't able to explain it properly.
Oh,
Like they
okay.
still
All
looking
right.
at him like a piece of shit, and he had really good points, and he couldn't explain it.
Okay.
Like nigga, open your mouth and fucking tell them what you're trying to do, versus them putting you in a box and not being able to properly articulate what you're trying to do.
Fair enough. Rich.
Married men.
Married man. Men.
Married men and get the broken balls. Tony's got to hear from Carmela about this trip. Why you always lying? You always saying I'm lying. I'm not doing that. Like I'm trying to show you my History Channel shit. You don't care. I'm giving you 15,000. Whatever. Phil, I'm just trying to get a little relaxation. Y'all, you fucking up my pants at the tailor. Not getting that shit done right. You in my ear about this Vito. Vito got to face his sins. All right, man. Shit. I'll do this shit just so I can get some peace at home.
Yeah. I gotta go Vito's kids.
Yeah, that's the
Vito
correct answer.
Vito knew the risk coming home, so he got whacked. Fat Dom knew the risk playing like that. At sensitive times, you got whacked. But Vito's kids finding out about who they dad he wasn't in Iraq. Like he's so far from Iraq. You know what I mean?
And that's a wild information to put in the newspaper.
It is.
Those details, shit, like
Somebody
damn.
shared this for sure. Like they were giving an account, anonymous account. So Vito's kids, man, just finding that out, like destroying, like your dad is nowhere near who you thought he was. Yeah.
That's actually a great one. That's a great one, though.
Right on. Favorite quote, Spike.
Favorite quote of the episode. Jeez. Come back to me.
Okay. Rich.
A note saying you don't like to suck cock. It's just, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Really, there's so many quotes in that mall scene, like Tony's quotes.
My brother's up there.
Right.
Yeah, man. No, it don't get no better than that because, and the only reason, like I said, like Spike's always said earlier, nothing to do with the lifestyle. It's the, why the fuck are you lying to me, bro? I respect you more if you just told me, like, hey, man, like I ain't know how to handle this, all type of shit. Now, a note from your doctor saying you don't like to suck cock. Like, just think about that. I always tell people, man, say this shit out loud before you say it to somebody else, and really hear how dumb that shit sounds.
Yep.
I can get a doctor note, and I want to see you go to the doctor. And shout out to Soprano Peaks. Shout out to the Soprano Peaks page, bro.
Right on.
Just showing the actual doctor's note to like to whom it may concern Vito's battlefield. Because like I said, man, that shit just funny. When you say shit out loud or think about it, like I will go to my doctor. Hey, can you give me a doctor note to say the medication I had made me like men?
That's right. Yeah, right. They get a weed card off of that.
Mine was when Melfi was telling Tony, we've been dancing around this for years. That's my favorite one.
And for me, it's don't put me to the test. Like just how he patted AJ with the softness. The aggression was there in the wording, but the way he
please
patted
don't
him,
test me.
Yeah, don't put me to the test. Like that. As a parent, I know exactly what he mean. Like, oh, you bro, you want to go to the floor? Nigga, I'm going to the basement level. Don't play with me, for real. I got that in me. I got time today, cuz. So, and lastly, what's your favorite moment of the episode, Spike Lou?
My favorite moment of the episode was Tony and Melfi.
Okay.
Similar to the quote when she was like, please don't test me. I think that was one of the great moments that they kept it real with each other. And she was like, come on, bro. Like, we've been dancing around this shit forever.
Okay.
Like, let me give you some real sauce as to what you need to get through what you're going through.
Okay. What about you, Rich?
The don't put me to the test scene. I said it. I kind of described why when I mentioned that I was going to give Melfi the good earner chain. Just like that therapy actually worked. She got through Tony's response, all of that, but it was still so menacing. I love that scene. The mall scene just seems too. That's too easy. That's
Yeah.
Hall of Fame Sopranos.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm going too easy. I got to.
I ain't mad at you. All right? Somebody has to. Somebody has
I
to.
left it. Yeah, I left it there so somebody could.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew one of y'all would.
That whole scene, everything about it is so freaking funny, bro.
Classic, man.
Golly, I'm definitely, that's a YouTubeable. I'm gonna probably do another flip on that here soon, but and that is our episode, man. We thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all want to reach out, goodearnerpod@gmail.com, or y'all can reach out on Instagram, goodearnerpod_Sopranos, as well as our YouTube. Hopefully next week we'll have something special for y'all, but if not, we're gonna have a special another episode review as we do. So we'll see what happens. You never know in this thing. They know, but they don't know. Thank y'all for tuning in, and remember, don't forget about it.